actually starts.
If I only had an Arby's fish sandwich.
Thanks to Arby's. Now counts what hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old diabetes is setting in.
It says
Not
it's
good.
starting.
Guaranteed to get sponsorship that way.
Shit. Arby's for all your diabetes needs.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm laughing now, but when they take my left foot, I won't be laughing. I don't
Jesus
think.
Christ.
Dude, go check. Listen.
I'll get disability though. I can play chess all day.
If you go to a podiatrist, they're not going to check anything else but your feet. So you don't have to worry about them saying, you know what, you got cancer.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, just go. Listen, look at my foot. That's all I want you to do.
Right.
If you tell me,
Okay.
tell him straight. If you tell me to do anything other than wiggle my big toe,
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say wiggle your dick for a minute. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It says we're
depends on how long it
offline,
is.
but the commercial's playing. This is Twitch. So
Is that
we're on. It
me
doesn't
see.
say we are, but we're online. We're live.
I always have to refresh. Yeah, it tells me we're live.
It says, but it does say in the dashboard we're off.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you, Twitch. All right.
Yeah, I'm still a Twitch Prime member. I was thinking about canceling it, but then they released 2 games. And I got 2 free games out of it.
Yeah.
So I got that hard reset.
Hard
What's
reset.
it? Yeah, hard reset.
Redo.
Whatever.
Yeah,
What'd
I got it too.
Redo? I got it free though, and it was on my wish list actually on Steam. So that's cool.
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
think,
one down.
Out of 3, man.
I think I bought it for
Every
like
time you try to get out, they keep pulling me back in.
for what? Oh, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, they keep pulling me, and then I got some kind of a side-scrolling horror game. I forget what it's
Scrolling
called.
horror game. Wow.
Yeah, not horror game.
Horror.
That would be better. but
Horror.
Horror. I don't pronunciate very well.
I don't hear the word horror.
Horror.
B3 Gaming Cast, episode 47.
Talking
about
a horror game.
Horror and horror games.
Horror.
This episode, we've got myself, Janzer, as usual. Jesus. Okay, my mouth doesn't work either right now. We have Count.
Yeah, my mouth definitely isn't working.
Count Chocula.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll get it warmed up.
There he is.
Go ahead.
He's about to lose his foot. And we have a guest host today, Mr. Philemon Grundy.
Hey, that's me.
Born on a Monday. No, I always say
right.
that. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know. I'd have to check that. I don't know what day I was born. Not that I really care,
Grundy's kind of a badass. Apparently, you can't kill him or something. He just keeps coming back.
He just keeps coming back. So
Yeah, I think that's
The same-
bullshit.
the same with Phil. So
Yeah.
Sounds
Well,
like
I
a
don't-
cockroach, but yeah, I mean,
This episode sponsored by Arby's. Thanks for the diabetes.
when you said that, Janzer, about losing my foot, I thought about that movie, My Left Foot. What is that all about anyway? I don't
know. I've never
It
watched
won
it.
some sort of fucking award. So anyway,
I never watched it. Don't
Me
know.
neither.
It probably has to do with like disability and stuff like that. So look forward to watching it in the near future. That's based
like
on
you
what
could've
you
won an
said.
Oscar.
I'm terrible with crutches.
Hey,
so yeah, I better
Just
get
have your
healthy.
wife film it, and you could win an Oscar too.
Yeah. She'll have me like that one movie, Misery or whatever. She'll have me tied down in the bed and fucking
Wow.
Torturing
Well, that's
me.
not seven shades of gray, right? Is that what it's called?
7. It's 50.
50? Oh, I don't know. 7. I'm thinking of movie 7 where your feet are going to be like removed, and it's like, wait a second, this isn't bondage anymore. Yeah.
It's a good ass movie.
oh man, I just imagine you in some movie, with something sexual going on, and somebody just like, what's in the box?
Yeah. It's his dick. All right. Jeez.
7 shades of
Gwyneth
grey.
Paltrow's head. Anyway.
Oh, it's kinky. All right.
You know, my mom asked me, hey, can I listen to one of these? And I was like, I don't know, Mom.
No.
I don't know
No.
that you're going to be happy with what I say. I mean, look what I just said. Even after thinking to myself, can I make a clean episode for... Nope. Apparently I can't.
Are you making that up, or did your mom actually?
She
wanna
literally
listen?
asked me what she's asked me a couple of times, and my sisters have both asked a couple of times. I'm like, look, you're probably not going to like it. It's all comic book and games and all that.
Yeah.
Also, I say filthy,
But they wanna
filthy,
support
dirty
you.
things. Yeah.
they want to support you.
Well, yeah, my mom even was like, well, I forgot who she said. Somebody were like, she said, like movie
We
people.
can stream it at the local church.
They, no, I don't think that would be the thing. She would never say that. But she was like, actors and stuff, sometimes they, that's like, how do they deal with that with their family if they do certain, roles or whatever? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting paid. It's a different story if I was like making money out of it,
Right.
This is losing me money. This is stress and losing me money. How is this? No.
Right. How is this on the pot? What's the upside?
There is no upside.
There is no upside.
There's literally none. All right.
I mean, how much money would you do? Let me rephrase that. If you were a movie actor, like a woman, with their, if they had their morals or whatever, how much money would it take for them to do like nudes or something like that? Because I did watch that new 50 Shades of Grey movie, Darker, Grayer, or whatever the fuck it was called.
Oh, I have no idea.
That's Don Johnson.
What's your money limit?
That's Don Johnson's daughter.
Oh, no shit.
There. And she has no problem showing off her body. I
think it's almost like a requirement, though, for most women, though. That's kind of like the thing for Hollywood.
I'm not complaining that she likes to show off her body either, by the way. So
at this point in my life count, I think almost any number would work.
30 bucks.
Throw a number out there.
30 bucks and some food stamps. Yeah, that's
fine. I don't think they use food stamps anymore.
$30 and a cheeseburger.
A cheeseburger? Jeez.
No, they don't have food stamps. They have
do like hamburgers.
I guess they have the card you swipe. And
I don't know.
I reference.
I don't know. I've never.
I get paid for nothing, so I'm good. I get actual money. But
money for nothing. That's a Dire
thanks, old
Straits
employer,
song.
for being a piece of shit. Look what you did. Now you get to pay for me. When
does that gravy train run out, though? I mean,
I got a while.
I'm trying to get on that gravy train, but fuck, man.
Yeah, well,
they will not fire me. I'm trying, but they won't fire me. Fuck.
Yeah, I didn't try. Maybe that's the problem. It's just like dating. Don't try, man. Don't try. Just don't try.
That's true.
Just like Mass Effect Andromeda. Day one patch will not include any animation or character model improvements despite widespread fan criticism, blah, blah. Lead designer Ian Fraser responded. He said, at day one, no, that ship has sailed. We'll have more patches later on, but exactly what goes into them is still in discussion. So B3 Gaming, like the cast itself, like not the cast, but the community has discussed it a little bit in text chat there, like, oh, it doesn't matter. Just if you like it, play it, and all that kind of stuff. And,
But here's the thing. Go ahead, Phil.
Canceling my pre-order. No, I said my response was just canceling the pre-order. I was like, no.
Yeah.
But that's the response they don't want to hear. They'd rather hear the outrage. Fans. Yeah, that's true.
You know, they're defending it.
Well,
but I take issue with it because I'm not going to buy something brand new. Like I said, like we have mentioned that before, a car. I'm not going to buy a car brand new. And they're like, oh, yeah, brand new car off the lot. Mercedes-Benz, I spent all this money for it. And then I open the door and it falls off.
Right.
And they're like, all right, bye.
Well,
I'm like, no. No, I don't want that. So to me, that's like, you bring up a brand new game, I pay it full price. And you got some janky animations and facial features in it. No, it just doesn't fly by me. Some people are like, oh, well, if you're a real gamer,
right,
you can see past that. As
the
like,
purity.
If you want to be, but no, that's bullshit. To me, it's like, if I am somebody that wants to pay for something that I work hard for my money, then and I want something right, then yeah, I want it right. I don't go in the store and I just grab every single fruit off of the, I was like, oh no, this one looks horribly bruised, but I'm going to pay full price.
Right. I agree.
Well, I played about 4 hours of the early access, and I noticed right away. But I don't know BioWare. I don't know like their history. I've only played like Mass Effect 1 for like maybe an hour. Didn't care for it, and I mean, how is their history of the animations? Because a lot of people said that I saw online. Not a lot of people, but few people said that that's not really BioWare's thing. But you would think this is 2017, and with an unbelievably hyped game, they should improve that a little bit, don't you think? I mean,
fucking yes.
Thank
you.
Listen, in comparison to Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3, the animations are way better in those games.
Oh, really? Okay. See, I didn't know that.
I never saw any of that garbage in
their
2.
animations. Yeah, their animations aren't like, oh man, this looks exactly like how a person is running. But their animations look like, all right, it's tolerable. I mean, I can accept that. It looks like that person's foot's touching the ground. It looks like they're swinging their arms in a decent manner. I mean, Shepard in the other Mass Effects, like when he's running around like the Normandy, he does kind of tuck his arms in and look kind of a little bit silly, but it's not like how some people are comparing the characters walking away in the background looking like orangutans swinging their arms. I've seen characters kind of shrugging their hips, just standing still.
Right.
I think I have the podcast title. More like Mass Defect.
Well, they clearly put a lot of their budget in the cinematics, because I'll admit some of the cinematics in that game so far that I've seen are really cool. I mean, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, so I think they might have went cheap on the character animations to put more money into the cinematics. But I'll tell you, I kind of bashed the game the first hour and a half I played it. I kind of went on Twitter and said, not that I have a lot of followers or anything, like my voice matters, but I said, I wouldn't buy this game unless it was about $10. And the more I play it, the more I'm starting to put my foot in my mouth, because I mean, looking aside all the animation shit, it's getting better and better. Yeah. The combat is getting kind of sweet. And once I get used to, I'm kind of comparing everything to Horizon Zero Dawn right now, which just flows.
So how much did Horizon Zero Dawn cost?
$60.
And MEA cost $60. So comparing the quality of the games, would you say they're on par for what you got?
To me right now, nothing is on par with Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, I think that game is right now, for me anyway, is the gold standard of as far as what I'm going to compare the other games to. Now, I don't know Mass Effect.
Right.
So I'm not the Mass Effect authority, but I'll tell you, I was thinking about, maybe I should pick up Mass Effect Andromeda and get into the series a little bit. Maybe I'll want to go back and play the older ones.
Like, you don't even need to know the full history of the games. All you need to know is, like, you know, this developer is a pretty big deal. You know, you've heard about them, because otherwise they wouldn't be a big deal if you hadn't heard of, most gamers have. You also know that this is the 4th installation in this series. Yeah. So
this is kind of a brand new start.
Right. You would think things would progress. Kind of, Right. Yeah. Not like, nope. Yeah, we got. No, that's not good. That's not good. But we're still going to charge you AAA price.
Right.
It's just, there's no excuses. Like, I've seen excuses like, well, it was there was a lot of new developers. Well, that's the development hiring person's fault then, for throwing a bunch of new developers when you knew that a senior lead developer was leaving, or editor, or whatever it was. Right. There was a senior dude that left. Maybe there was a couple of others too. And the other thing is, like Graham is saying, he won't defend it, we'll support it. Absolutely. Like, that's my opinion. I don't give a shit if you want to buy the game, but don't start trying to, like, defend it.
Right.
There's nothing to defend. Everybody can see the mistakes, People are going to make their own decisions.
It's really, it takes you out of the game. It actually takes you out of the gaming experience, because some of the, like, there's a cinematic early in the game where the Hyperion ship collides with something going into the atmosphere, and you get knocked on the ground, and a guy comes up to start talking to you, and he's still looking straight forward while you're on the ground. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it just little things like that. And I'm not a video game critic, but I noticed right away, ew, is this beta? I mean, are they going to fix this? I mean, it's pretty cringy. Right. But after you play the game, after I played the game for a couple more hours, I started looking past it and got into the gameplay a little, and it's not bad at all. The combat and stuff like that's not bad at all.
Yeah. You know what game I've been recently playing that I can say can get away with a lot of that stuff? The Technomancer. Okay. Half the cost, small studio. Right. I'm not seeing that weird fucking lip thing that was going on, or the weird, like, my ass is disconnected from my legs, or whatever, that weird jiggle. And then there were so many weird fucking things with the animation, with the characters, I was like, yeah, it really does show that these were noob developers that were working on it for the animations and all that. It really shows.
And it's almost inexcusable at this point. I mean, wasn't this game like one of the highlights of E3 last year of them showing
they pushed the hype.
They pushed the hype, and they really should have got their ducks in a row and made that like top quality. Because I'll tell you, I thought I played Mass Effect Andromeda for about an hour and a half, and then I went and I said, man, maybe that's my imagination. I went over to Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like, nope, those fucking facial animations suck. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really cringy.
It's like ordering a meal at a really expensive restaurant, and then part of your meal is burnt, and you're like, well, I mean, the experience is good otherwise, right? I mean, the drinks were good.
I would not expect from BioWare anything along the lines of what Guerrilla did with Horizon Zero Dawn, because they've never had that level of development put into like facial animations. However, like movement definitely should be there. Like characters should be walking kind of funny, and I don't think the facial animation should digress.
Right.
That said,
but you're saying they have.
But but that said, if your competition is stepping up the game, and you've been in this
you
game
need to be stepping up your game. Yep.
Yeah, that should be.
Well, it's almost like they're taking it for granted that
behind.
the hardcore players are going to buy it no matter what. But I don't know. There's a lot of people.
Developers do that all the time too, because look at how many bugs like Fallout 4 had. They still use old ass engine, and that game came out last year, and it's like this doesn't look like it should be a game that they're putting out now, because they just kind of just resting on their laurels and saying this is cool, we can still get away with this.
It's like Stockholm syndrome, because people even start liking games because of their bugs,
right?
It's fucking Stockholm syndrome. Holy shit!
I never thought of it that way. But
Me either. I just thought about that. I was like, people like they find it endearing. You
it's
start. He struck me through that pillar. Dark Souls. You're so crazy. It's like
so
that's
great.
bullshit coding, man.
Yep.
Like Dark Souls 1 for the PC has a high Metacritic score, like 86, 83, it's something like that. And it was a horrible port. Gamers are insane.
Yeah.
They're insane.
I agree. I agree. Phil, did you play any of the early access?
No, because when I saw that stuff, first and first, I'm not going to buy a game at full price and then have to spend additional money to get Origin access so I can play it a little bit earlier. That's a nice little gimmick that game companies will do. There are other
I fell for it.
The Origin that do it. No, it has it's like a little perk. For me personally, I'm like, if I'm gonna buy your game, don't charge me extra just so I can play it a little bit earlier.
Right.
But it's just because like I've been in marketing for so long, I know these little tips and things to get people, because you're salivating. You're salivating for it, so it's like, hey,
you
look,
actually
get
get
this
10% off the game.
Yeah, but if I pre-ordered it on Green Man Game, and then it was 23% off.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. Yeah, never mind.
And even with 23% off, I was like, no, cancel that. And I'm gonna give props to Green Man Gaming. They should be sponsoring the B3. But cool. Yeah, Green Man Gaming. I sent a cancellation thing for it, and they responded within 5 minutes and said, yeah, sure, no problem. Here's your money.
They're probably getting quite a few of those, but when push comes to shove, I think. And I'm not a Mass Effects guy. I keep saying that, but I was starting to get into the game a little bit. Now I'm starting to rethink that maybe I might get it. I might end up getting that game.
Yeah,
because later on it gets kind of cool. Later on in the story.
That's something I want to bring up too. That you only get to go to one planet in the little early access that they give you. One planet, and then you only get 10 hours of gameplay.
10 hours.
Most people can spend in the multiplayer. So you don't really actually get to play the game and develop the characters, the skills, know much of the story. So at this point too, it's kind of like just watching the first 10 minutes of a hour-long pilot episode.
Yeah.
So you can't say if it's good or not. You can just say I didn't like how it started.
Well,
So
the character
it still
moves
has potential.
slower than I'm used to. The character moves a little more clunkier. It's a little clunkier than I'm used to. It's a cover shooter. It's more like Gears of War 4, which I was really impressed by Gears of War 4. I love that. It seemed like it's a little bit smoother as far as the character movement. But
Yeah,
as
they
far as
changed-
when I started
they
getting
changed
used to it a little, it's Mass Effect Andromeda actually is not too bad. I mean, once you get into the combat's pretty cool. I must admit.
Yeah, it's not hard cover in this one. But in the older Mass Effect games, where you ran to cover, you just hit that cover and stick to it. So you can even run off a cover and then just kind of stick to another piece of cover. And unintentionally.
This one doesn't do that.
But in this one, you don't do that. They changed that. So
they changed that.
There's a
right.
lot of potential and stuff in it. I'm not gonna rag on the game and get on all the memes that people do. Like, oh,
Right.
look at this. I think that if they fix this stuff, it's gonna take them probably a few months. I'm gonna see how it looks then. And if
Right.
it looks good, then I may buy it then. But no,
Right.
I'm not.
But
I'm not
right
gonna
now,
support.
no. I hear you.
I'm not going to support unfinished product, and I'm also not going to be one of those people that's just going to blame the developers for it. Maybe they were young, maybe they didn't have as much experience, or as per usual, it could have been EA just telling them get this game out the door. We need to make money.
Like
Budget.
I said,
That happens.
I'm not
That happens all the time.
right. Like I said, to me, if it was new developers, that's the hiring or the managing whoever did that for the team. That's their fault. Like if I was the project lead or technical lead or whatever it was for that team, I would have fought that shit, and maybe that person did. Who knows? But we
you
don't
never
actually
know
know.
Right, exactly.
And Graham is
You don't
saying
know
in
what
chat,
internal battles they might have had over that or conflict, or
Graham's got
debate.
another good point, well, it's the first game that's being developed for the PS4, Xbox as well,
There you
versus
go.
just a PC. And I'm like, it could be a lot of things. That's
Right.
the problem. We don't know unless they tell us specifically, and all they're saying is, yeah, that shit ain't gonna get fixed right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what that tweet came down to.
Because they figure they're going to have enough day one launch issues as it is, as far as fixing quest bugs, shit like that. I mean, even Horizon had some of that where you couldn't finish the quest because of a bug.
I do
they're going to
wanna-
have enough of those issues to figure out, before they worry about the.
Absolutely. Like Graham is saying, all gamers have different value, all that blah, blah, blah. True, but here's where I always stand is you have absolutely zero right for anyone to give a shit about what you say if you're not actually voting with your dollar. If
Right.
you want to change something, it's your money. It's not your words. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Look at I always reference that last Metal Gear game that Kojima worked on, and everybody cried, "Oh, it's Konami, don't buy it." What that thing did fine in sales.
Right.
They justified it however they rationalized and justified however they wanted in order to play it. Oh, I didn't get it. Someone gifted it to me. Yeah, well, someone else spent their money on it. Oh, well, I'm going to get it because in honor of Kojima. Oh, get the fuck out of it. You want to play it because it looks like a fun game, all right? Don't be... We love hypocrisy, human beings. We love it.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah.
But, like Graham says in the chat, though, I mean, he's big time gameplay over animations anyway.
Sure.
So,
hey, that's why I'm playing the Technomancer right now. There's a multitude of problems I'm having with it right now. The fact that you need to equip different headpiece, chest piece, whatever it is, when you're going into dialogue or you're going to lockpick something or you're going to battle, and there's no quick way to do that. That's a pain in the ass. But it's a thing in the game that you need bonus wise. The fact that there is no you lunge left and right when you're trying to make small movements with your character. It's like, oh, here's a box right there. Let me just turn to the right, and the character lunges to the right. I'm like, oh my god, dude, it's just calm down, all right? He's just freaking out all the time. There's so many little quirks, but it was a small developer. They have all of the games that came prior to the Technomancer had issues, and this one was just a little bit more polished than the last. It didn't go backwards,
right.
And it was also $30 when it came out, and I got it on sale. So, yeah, vote with your dollar, man.
Yep.
So, yeah,
No
definitely.
doubt.
And don't
if the little shit
reward
doesn't matter
something that's
to you.
not great.
Yeah, if the stuff like that, of course, I want my game to be perfect.
Sure.
But there's some games that
Horizon Zero Dawn.
You can let. That's not perfect.
Hey, you got to reward the good stuff if you're going to shit on the bad stuff.
Exactly. No, that's true. But
Absolutely.
If you can live with the kind of cringy looking facial animation. I mean, it's kind of like it's like you're walking to a wax museum basically, and the AI of the enemies isn't anything to write home about either. You know what I mean?
It's like saying, look, my girlfriend's got a nasty face, but she got a nice ass. You know, just come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other thing that is a bit bothersome is that they still can't get anything other than, well, this time they can't even get white characters to look good, but
the skin like glistens. They did a good job with skin tone where it's like the perspiration is glistening.
Well,
but
that was something
they forgot about the lifeless eyes. You know,
well, I was watching Angry Joe, and he was like, "Why are they all wet?"
Yeah, they're all like too wet.
The skin shouldn't be glistening because they look plastic.
Yeah,
so
they look like a wax.
It looks like a wax that looks like it looks like somebody like doesn't know their
sprinkler system went off or some shit. I don't know, but
that's like a bad shader, is what that is. You know?
Yeah, no, you're right. Maybe it's the engine. I don't know what engine.
I will say that they are not the greatest. They've not been the greatest in the past of making great looking characters.
Look, I liked ME2. What was wrong with ME2?
No. All right. I mean, in terms of when you see other games that came out around that same time, there's some games that are better than what they did in terms of the character, how the characters look. I found that characters used to have like some dark areas on their face depending on the lighting and stuff. I was like,
well, their lighting
rendered kind of off. Yeah.
Their lighting has not been like even in ME2 it was great.
Acceptable for that time. You know, at that point in time, it was like, all right, no, it's not horrible, it's not bad, it's not great, but it's like it's decent.
Yep.
This is like, well, everybody's gonna leap some bones ahead now.
Yeah.
Why are you going further?
Why are you going back
a
little bit? Yeah.
I've been playing Mad Max, and that game looks great with the character models. I mean, I have never seen anything in Mad Max that made me go, "Ha, that looks really fucking stupid." Whoa, what happened there? You know, no, it looks good.
Because
I think they overachieved.
Customizations, even the hair customizations, the lips, the colors, a lot of stuff is just like really, really. It just looks like something that not even somebody graduated from college would be doing.
Well, maybe as their first job.
You
know, shit happens, Phil. I've seen some developers do some bad things and like, we need some guidance here. You know, maybe they shouldn't let go of that senior developer, whoever it was. You know,
I'm just saying that if a bad attitude, I don't know.
Maybe that guy left because he knew what was going to happen.
If I started working at BioWare and this was my first thing that I did, I wouldn't feel bad if I got a pink slip the next day. I'd be like,
that's fair
enough.
Kind of yeah. I mean, I'm never going to work in the industry again because of this, but fair enough.
Yeah, there you go.
But at the same time, people will accept like some of these horrible things in games because even with the Nintendo Switch, there are people that buy the Nintendo Switch knowing that it's going to scratch their screens and then they're going to line it inside of the docks. They line inside the docks with like a kind of felt. And I'm like, so you can spend $300 for the system and then you got to make alterations to it yourself. It's like, no.
You have to go out to Walmart and buy some felt. And
hey, people lower their expectations every day. Look, here's your burger. You know there's a few flies in it. Not a big deal, right?
You know what? If they said, look, we'll give you 30% off, I'll be like, all right, cool. I'll alter it if you give me money off. But they're not. They're selling at full price, and you gotta buy accessories to make it worthwhile. So it's like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if you're willing to do it,
for God's sakes, don't say Zelda's a bad game. If you're a YouTuber, for God's sakes, don't.
Oh yeah, that's a topic that I have there as well too. I mean, if you say something bad about Zelda,
oh my God,
you're a reviewer, you might get DDoS.
No, if you
officially B3 GamingCast loves Zelda. I mean, these guys are guests, so if don't say anything bad.
No, actually, I was wrong about what I said. Even if you say good things about Zelda, if you don't bow down and worship to the fucking altar of Zelda and give your firstborn to the altar of Zelda, they're gonna come after you and DDoS your shit.
Respect Zelda's cock and Zelda's the woman. So, yeah.
I mean, Zelda's the greatest game of all time. I don't think so, but you know.
Yeah, but well, I guess switching from
Janzer made me say that. So.
Yes, switching from Mass Effect. Like Jim Sterling, he got DDoS because he liked the game, but he
Fuck
didn't like it
yeah,
enough.
he liked the game.
I'm like, what?
Wait.
This is
Wait,
what
wait, wait,
aggravates me
wait,
too.
wait. What?
He gave
What?
the game 7 out of 10 according to his
He
ratings.
gave Zelda
on his
7.
Oh, I heard about. Yeah.
7 is a good.
Yeah.
Like,
And
this game is
the
a solid,
Metacritic
good
score
game.
went from 94 to 93 or something, or 97 to
It
96.
went from 98 to 97.
Okay.
But the thing is, though, is that there were 2 other critics that actually gave it a 6 out of 10, but nobody's really talking about them because they're not really that well known.
But Jim Sterling
it's
kind
fun
of
to pick on Jim Sterling.
Well, that's the thing. He cultivates that audience.
Yeah.
Like they're ready to kick some ass. Because that's the audience that's what he made right in his channel. So when there's plenty of people that want to kick his ass too. So it is what it is.
Well,
it's a very fighty channel.
They're lining up
There's a
to sue the
positive-
guy. I mean,
line up to sue him. They're leaving comments telling him to drink bleach. They're DDoSing him. And the DDoSing I find to be hilarious because I'm sure a lot of these people are people that would be out there saying, oh, well, you can't censor PewDiePie. It's like, but by DDoSing this person, you're trying to censor them. You're trying to stop them from saying what they want to say.
Oh, they're trying to punish him. Yeah. They're trying to punish him. Yeah.
But it doesn't work because it's only gonna bring more attention to him. So
it doesn't work because it's a limited thing, number one. It's gonna go away. All it is a tantrum. That's literally it's an immature tantrum, When you get out of playing at the level of dumb little kid gamers, then you're like, yeah, I've seen this before. I saw that kid throw himself around at the restaurant the other day. It'll end.
Yep. And let's apply this to something else. All right, Count, you really love Horizon Zero Dawn, right? If I told you I went by somebody the other day and played it, and I was like, nah, this game ain't that great.
well, fuck you.
Okay, so Horizon Zero Dawn
No,
has exceeded 2.6 million in sales in a couple of weeks.
Oh, they made Yeah. I can't wait for the sequel already, even though I'm not done with the original. Yeah, go ahead.
You can keep on ranting about Zelda. I just want to throw that fact in.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying that Count is not going to be like, well, all right. Count will be like, all right, well, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it. I'm going to keep playing this game. And he's going to go on playing it because he loved the game. That's how you should be about if this game is your favorite game and it has any kind of bugs or issues with it, but you still love the game, that's your game. You love that game. If somebody doesn't like it, you don't need everybody to love it.
Oh, I'll be the first to call out any bugs or fucking if things go bad and things get cringy in that game. I'd be the first to call it out. I mean,
Phil, you hit upon,
but you don't need somebody to love that game the way you love it.
You hit upon an immature concept that young gamers don't know, or even older gamers, whatever. It's a concept that's about immaturity, where they need you to like them or like what they like, and that's why I like this one saying.
They feel lessened that you don't like.
Why don't you like what I like? Why don't you like it? I was like,
believe-
because I'm a different person. It's just what it is, There's this one I don't know where it came from, but I heard it from one of the guys at Rooster Teeth, Jeff. He's a piece of shit asshole, and he was like, "Look, I hate all the bands you like.
Tell us what you think about it."
First off, no, he calls himself a piece of shit asshole. I'm not even.
I'm just kidding.
And he's pretty fun. But yeah, he's like, first thing off, you just tell somebody, I hate all the bands you like. And you go, what? Start from that. Like most of my good friends are people that I clashed with, so that kind of stuff. So it just depends. But gamers can't deal with it.
But yeah, I've never been like that. I don't really care. I'm usually the guy that's the minority as far as I'm a New England Patriots fan around Ohio. That doesn't go over well. So I don't, and people, they're so butthurt that I don't like what they like and, around here and shit like that. So
I'm trying to think of any game that would piss me off if somebody said they didn't like it. And I can't think of any.
See, I actually kind of lost a friend over that years and years ago. And it was because it was my immaturity. I kind of I did a podcast with a guy and he was a DC Universe player. And this is when the game first came out. And I was absolutely enamored with that game when it first came out.
Yeah.
And a couple of weeks later, he didn't like it.
Yep.
He started to criticize it. And I went ballistic because
Wow.
I thought we were down to do this. We were going to do this podcast. And then a year and a half later, I ended up doing my own podcast on it. But I was so butthurt that he fell out of that game that I lost the friendship over that, actually, because I called him every name under the sun and he called me every name under the sun, and we haven't spoken since. And that's back in 2011. So I've kind of learned my lesson that maybe I need to grow up a little bit.
Yeah, that's why sometimes things happen, even in B3 community, and I'm like, just let it go. It's not worth it. It's just not. Just what's that over there? Hey, let's play a video game now. But that's that's where gamers earn their title of being immature, which makes every gamer fucking look bad.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? You get passionate about shit, and you gotta like Pac-Man. I love Pac-Man. How can you not like Pac-Man? Fuck you. Fuck your family. Yeah. So. Yeah.
But I mean, you got to remember, other people have. You got to look outside yourself.
Oh
at certain times
they go crazy.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
They go crazy. Shit. I have something here that's kind of light. February 2017 top 10 game sales. So I've got number 1 through 10. That. Oh, did you? Yeah. It's already ruined. Damn it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I don't know all of it. I skimmed over it. So
well, for PC at least, because I don't care about PS4 or consoles. For Honor.
For Honor,
took number 1 over Resident Evil 7
on every platform.
Oh shit, really?
For Honor took number 1. Yeah.
Resident Evil 7 took 2. Grand Theft Auto took 3.
It's always on the list.
Beasting. Yep. And it is an amazing game, and I'm never going to buy it because fuck that developer, fuck Rockstar.
It was still like 5th on the list on the consoles.
Yeah. Oh damn.
But so is NBA 2K17.
Yeah, well. I see it there.
And
it's number
Madden.
4.
Madden's
Call of Duty Infinite War. Hey, remember people
on the consoles
said that was on PC as too. It's number 5 on that list. So, but remember, it's garbage. Titanfall 2 was better. Remember that. So Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Another game that people were like, oh, it's dead. Still hanging out there. Still hanging around.
I noticed it was number 10 on one of the lists.
It's number 6 on the PC one. Madden NFL.
10 on PS4.
Battlefield 1, Nioh, and Overwatch at the bottom.
Yep.
But
and
Overwatch,
not
they're saying it didn't
Battle.net.
include. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you said
sorry, man, I didn't mean to hijack your list there.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Honor's actually number 1 on that list
for PC. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's before Horizon Zero Dawn. I might have to add. That's
that's also interesting because For Honor is actually having a few issues right now.
Oh yeah,
the player base.
Well, because February was when it came out, right?
Oh no. You're talking about microtransactions now.
Oh, what about it?
Yep.
What?
So apparently now they've added a bunch of new cosmetic emotes, and the emotes used to cost like 50 steel. They're in-game currency. Sorry, 5,000 steel.
Okay.
Now they've jacked the prices up to 7,000 steel, which is the equivalent of $5 US. So it's up by 2,000 more than previous ones. So players are now annoyed that they got to buy multiple packs if they want to buy. So you can't just spend $5 and get the emote. You got to buy double the amount.
And it's an emote.
Or you have to grind ridiculously to get it. The other thing, the thing that has me right is that the same steel that you get in the game, this in-game currency, you use that to upgrade your gear to make you a little bit better in the game. But nobody's complaining about that. Nobody's like, that kind of makes people a little bit better. This isn't that pay to win. Nobody's saying that. But they're angry because I can't do that emote where the guy holds the spear or the sword in between his legs and rides it like a horse.
Well, I'm
like, what?
Cherry picking is also another one of those immature gamer things that makes gamers look bad. So, and that happens all the time. Well, I'm just gonna pick this thing here. What about that? It's like, oh my God. Yeah. So I have no idea, man.
And then people going on to Reddit and they're showing, it's gonna take you up to like 2.5 years to be able to get all the upgrades and cosmetics for every character,
they'll probably change it because of all their rage,
Or it's gonna cost you $700 US to buy all of these things.
Well,
and they're not happy about that. And I'm like, hang on. So if you had so they want to get everything for these $60. So if you had everything and they didn't add new things to the game, would you still play it? No. So if it's gonna take you 2 years to get stuff, I'm sure they can add other things. And also, do you need to have every single emote and thing in the game? I'm sure you're not going to play every single.
Yeah, but Phil, it doesn't look
evenly.
as outrageous unless you throw like everything in the kitchen sink about, in the stats there to make it look horrible. I'm pretty sure they have boosters too, because it's the same type of setup as like Rainbow Six Siege. I'm assuming as far as the microtransactions. I haven't looked because I don't care. I don't own the game. Last I heard, it was suffering badly from
like a rock.
Yeah,
player base,
dropping,
big time.
And that's not being negative. That's just looking at numbers. That's just looking at numbers. But some people,
true.
If you say anything bad, then you're negative all the time. So yeah.
Well, like anecdotally, I have a lot of friends at work that they all have PS4s and they all play that game and they've all quit. So and they were so hyped about that game. And I'm talking about 5 or 6 different guys that I'm friends with. And they've all quit. There's like one guy that still plays a little bit, but they're just sick of like all the griefing and the shit that's going on with the servers and all that stuff that they just,
And it's just dumb that they would have done it. Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah. And then that's the other thing too. They're complaining saying that, all right, you made this specifically so that people will buy these packages, yet there is no dedicated server.
Yeah.
That bit I can understand because like, well, you got all these other things that can help sustain and keep the game going. Why not put that into servers? But again, I don't know how much it's going to cost and what kind of profits they want to make over this game, because how much profits they want to make versus giving you dedicated servers is two different things. Because it's like, it doesn't cost us too much and we're not making enough in profits. They can say no, it's business. At the end of it, that's what it is. So if you don't like it, don't buy the game. Like you said, vote with your wallet.
Yeah, don't pay for the microtransaction. You don't need stupid emotes anyways. How dumb can you be?
Yeah,
that's goddamn emotes. I don't know what you're talking about.
Selling emotes?
I want my emotes. I want my character to look pretty. If I can't have that, this game's ruined.
Well, it's like criticizing Evolve for selling blue guns,
Oh, the Division recently introduced the premium credits and those emotes and skins, and they even gave us some like free credits. And I looked at everything and I was like, no. There's nothing here. Right. It just doesn't appeal to me. And you even gave me free money and I don't want it. So it's very subjective and really nothing to cry about. Just don't do anything. Don't buy anything. You're fine. Rainbow Six Siege, I think the most I've done there was maybe I bought like a booster pack one time because with friends they combine up to like a amazing amount of like renown that you get back. But I've done that once, So
and then they gave boosters as well too. And I think
they threw a bunch.
Everybody had the boosters running.
There were times where like servers would go down. They're like, oh, sorry about that. Here's a free booster. It's like, oh, sweet. That's cool. Yeah.
And they didn't have to do that either. They can say, oh, sorry, servers went down. But they're up now.
That's true. They did not have to do it. That is true. But they care about that community because they want it to be, esports, and it's still alive no matter what.
Yeah.
Take note, Titanfall 2. I do have some Titanfall 2 notes.
You've just started recently playing Titanfall 2, didn't you?
I played it a little bit. Bit. I've got some info here about, it's not really... You'll hear this. It just sounds silly to me. So the developer made some announcements about future DLC. And it's apparently March 23rd is going to be some and some more in April. They're not really saying what. They just said over the next few months there's going to be, they can expect stuff. Great. That's not saying a goddamn thing, There's ongoing Titanfall projects outside of Respawn, including games that are in the works at Nexon, one of which is a free-to-play version of Titanfall for Korea.
I saw that South Korea is getting it free. I saw
interesting.
That is, yeah.
That sounds like there's going to be microtransactions built into that.
Oh, yeah.
Korea. Yeah.
Yeah.
But South Korea, video games are like the national fucking pastime there, aren't
and
they?
that stuff works over there really well, too.
Yeah, right.
And it's Nexon. That's the whole thing. Nexon's first Titanfall game, free-to-play mobile, Titanfall Frontlines, was canceled before it even left beta, but they've got more games in the Titanfall universe for mobile coming up. So, not a whole lot of actual news there for Titanfall DLC stuff. Are they taking care of, the same way that, Rainbow Six Siege is? I don't know. Then, who knows? The game itself, I've already talked about like my experience in it, So I think I did
One
at
thing
least.
I find with Rainbow Six Siege's like DLC, it seemed to be very well structured. It's like they knew this is gonna happen then, this is
Right.
gonna happen there, and this is gonna happen at this point. It's like
They put
had,
infographics out and everything showing
Yeah.
that. Yep.
so they seemed a lot more structured. I think but even Battlefield 1 is going through that same issue, like how you saying Titanfall is. They bringing out DLC like really late, and their player base is bleeding at the moment.
Yep.
And people have compared how quickly they're like a month or 2 months behind how they would have brought out stuff for like Battlefield 4. So they brought out DLC way ahead of time for Battlefield 4 as opposed to how Battlefield 1 is, and the player base is just dwindling.
Yeah.
I mean, people still play it. Don't get me wrong. Some people still play it, but the numbers don't look good.
Right.
Well, they were like on that top. They were number, let's see, 7 on that top 10 game sales for February. So
Is that PC or
PC?
That's PC. Okay, that's a little surprising.
Yeah, Battlefield
To me.
1. Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
Battlefield 1? No,
Uh-huh.
that got some good. That got a really good response.
Yep.
Oh, I know it did. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's been out quite a while. So,
Yep.
you know,
Did you mean a different game? Did I hear Battlefield 1 and you said a different game?
no.
Okay. All right.
If you're talking to me, no, I meant Battlefield 1.
No, I meant Phil. Like when he
Oh,
was
I'm
talking
sorry.
about
No,
like the
no.
player base dropping off.
Yeah, no, the player base is dropping off.
Okay.
I mean, that doesn't mean that new players aren't buying the game. Like I said,
Yeah.
They are. If I know people that play it, and if they jump into a game,
Yeah.
they could find a game with like they could jump into servers with like 50 people on them. So there's still people playing it.
Yep.
But in comparison to when it launched, there was a huge amount of hype behind it.
Right.
Tons of people bought it. People are still buying it now.
Yeah, and
But
Call of Duty Infinite
it's
Warfare, not Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my point. Is like, it's
Yeah.
even though the player base is maybe dwindling, whatever, you still got new recruits coming in. So
Yep.
yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. But
Titanfall
that is a
is
comparison
never
to
going to be able to compete with those two franchises.
No.
I'm just saying right now, it's never going to be.
I mean,
no matter it's kind of like a good it's a nice kept secret, but it's never going to be
Ideally-
marketed or anything like that.
Ideally, if you live in your own world in your head, yes. Because idealism, that's what idealism is. It's all
Right.
about like not seeing the actual reality of things and assuming the best circumstances for everything. In reality, Battleborn's always going to suck. Just what it is. I mean, was it neat? I mean, and I love that intro. I love the intro. I think they should have done an animation for it. But to try to keep defending, it's like, no, the game's never gonna be anything more than what it ended up being. Titanfall 2 is gonna continue to lose, players until it drops off the face of the planet. Same as Titanfall 1. It's just what it's just what it is. Those two big brothers are too big for it to get in there.
I also think that if Titanfall 2 came out like very late this month
Of course.
or early next month, it would have had it probably would have more longevity than it has coming out in between all those titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not obviously it can come out like no though, because you got like the Mass Effect, you got the Near Automata, and all
Sure.
those things can be pulling people's attention. But if it came out, closer to like April, I think it probably would have a decent longevity.
Yeah, we've
This year.
definitely brought that up a lot of times about the whole timing. Same thing for Battleborn, whatever. But yeah, I do want. I was looking up titles for things, and I just wanted to make fun of one. Because some of these article names are goddamn stupid. It was probably from Polygon. Listen to this. Listen to this, and just give
I know
me.
where you're
y'all-
going.
Do you? Maybe you don't. Quake Champions tank favors the direct approach. I mean,
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
of course, I didn't think you would. But is this? It's like saying people
It's a
like to
slow
put
news
shoes
week.
on. People, did you know that people like putting shoes on? Anybody?
Water is wet. Yeah, I mean, what? I mean,
What?
what?
What is a tank supposed to fucking do? Hide? Stealth?
I used to play with a guy that would always want to tank in an MMO, and he'd always he thought tanking was like leading the fucking boss around in a merry chase on the roof, like staying far. He thought
hiding.
taking was staying as far away from the boss as possible.
Oh,
I remember we used to make funny like videos about it and shit. So go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
no, I just was like, what? You're right. That slow news week, something just.
Gotta get those clicks, man.
That's a slow news week right there.
No one go look that up, by the way. No one.
Well, it's Polygon for one.
Probably it was either them or Kotaku. Both are horrible excuses for gaming and entertainment websites.
I thought you were going to. I forgot you were on the video game. You weren't talking about when I heard Polygon. They made some Iron Fist articles.
Oh, I tweeted that. Yeah, you want to talk about that? Go ahead.
I was like, oh, don't even go there right now. But
okay, yeah, we can bring it up. Yeah, wait, definitely. I just kind of want to get through.
We might bring it up later.
Video game stuff. I did see this thing. Telltale Games CEO Kevin Bruner leaves amid aggressive growth with former chief executive Dan Connors taking over. Apparently, Connors was the original CEO, like handling things, and who knows what happened there. I just thought it was interesting because they have been on kind of like they're just doing every type of game out there, turning into Telltale type. So, and yet the whole thing is people still have problems with their development engine. Yeah,
they just got Marvel and they got DC.
Right.
Kind of like they got everybody is like, who's competing? They got Game of Thrones. Is like, who don't they have?
But the whole thing, like I said, people complain about that game engine they use, but nothing's changing there. They keep using it. What are they?
What's the thing we've been saying about people losing their job? What's the word we've been using?
Redundant.
They're redundant. Yeah, he was redundant. So yeah, he got the pink slip.
But they did change the game engine for the Batman game though, and it apparently ended up being a bit worse.
Oh.
I got that. Yeah. I got that free, and I played like 20 minutes, and ooh.
I think the problem is there's no competition there because like this one, I was down in the comments and I was looking. Of course, you find something stupid, so I figure I'm gonna start picking these comments because they're fucking idiots. So this guy was like, maybe now he's gone. They will actually start making games instead of visual crap novels with terrible graphics. And I'm like, who else is doing this though?
Right.
So there's a niche for this. Well, yeah, that's why they're doing it, you fucking idiot.
Yep.
And that's why people are buying it, even if it is terrible, because it's the only fucking thing out there to buy that's like that. Unless you want those weird-ass Japanese anime ones that are about banging your sister, Yeah.
Some people like that genre, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, some people play a lot of games on easy because they don't really want the difficulty of the gameplay. They just want to experience the story of the game.
That's true.
Right.
So you take that and just make it into what they do, a Telltale game.
Yeah. Press
anything wrong
B
with that.
to continue. Yeah.
Obviously, that person just doesn't like that genre of games, but there are numerous genres of games. Pick one that you like. I don't trash another one. I don't like point and click games, but people like it. So
it's like going to Capcom and saying maybe they'll stop making fighting games and start making FPSs. What? Get out of here, you idiot! McDonald's needs to start making more salads. Nix the burgers. Fuck off.
Hey, they tried that.
Yeah, they did try to do something. People want their garbage to put.
But I'll get the Guardian. They're doing Guardians of the Galaxy next. I guess that's their thing. So I'll get that.
Cool.
It's not too bad. I hesitate to spend money on those kind of games, but if it's Marvel, I can be a fanboy.
What?
I was just gonna say, fanboy.
Yeah.
Well, Tusi, I actually like what he said.
It reads mean tweets.
It'll be instead of tweets, it'll be comments on either videos or news articles. But they won't be. They will be mean, and then I will make fun of those fucking idiots for how
you've
stupid
seen that
they are.
Off of Jimmy. I think it's the Jimmy Kimmel show that does that.
I avoid him like the plague.
Oh, I don't like him either. But he's got a segment where he has a celebrity come on and read mean tweets about themselves.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's kind of cringy too.
No, this is different. I would just be making fun of people.
There you go.
I kind of like that.
People making fun of other people.
Yes. I'll make fun of how stupid they are for attempting to make fun of something. All right. The coffee's coursing through right now. Have you guys heard of a
Janzer
game?
just block. If you mean tweet Janzer anyway, he'll just block you.
Oh, please. No, I got blocked for trying to have a discussion. Yeah.
Who'd you get blocked by?
I talked about it on the podcast a long time. Pat the NES boy or something like that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Something like that. And it was all about something dumb about YouTube changing something that never ended up fucking happening, having any bad effect. But, YouTubers, any little thing that happens in their life, they make it a big issue for everybody to give a shit about. So, like, oh, get the fuck out of here. Nothing came out of that. And you're fine. Your channel's fine,
I've been blocked by one video game player on Twitter. A DC, imagine that. A DC Universe player blocked me.
Wow.
He used to do the other podcast. And,
I was going to say, but you asked for
podcast, it. He said I was a great guy, and I was like, oh, I can't have that. So, yeah, about 3 weeks later, I went from being a great guy to blocked. Yeah.
Well, we all have our goals in life. I'm glad you got to attain that one. Speaking of goals, this is where I was going with that. See, I'm going to ruin it by saying that was a transition. Starfighter Inc. Have you guys heard of this game?
No.
It's supposed to try to compete with Star Citizen and what's that fighter? That other fighter that I can't remember. That
Elite Dangerous.
Elite Dangerous. Yeah, there you go. And, so it's got a Kickstarter going. They're looking for 150,000. They're currently at 45.5. But their whole thing is that they're using hard science that you could actually do what they're putting in the game.
Yeah.
And there's one guy.
I gotta look that up.
Look it up.
Hang on.
Impeller Studios Kickstarter.
That means this game has no dogfights in it then, because if they're using hard science, just saying.
So it turns out you're right, Phil, because apparently the ships are super fragile. Like any little nick, and they explode.
Yeah, they couldn't do that. They could actually that fast-moving dogfight, turn on a dime, wouldn't be even possible, would it? There's no friction to or whatever.
Atmosphere.
I don't know the physics of it, but
so
you need you need to be on a planet's atmosphere for dog.
the
That's why we can do it
TIE
in
fighter
plane.
bullshit.
I've heard
happen.
that it plays interestingly, and that it needs you need a lot more skill because of what y'all are saying. Yeah, that you literally can't get into these spins that you can't get out of and that kind of stuff. But my favorite, if you watch the YouTube promo for it, my favorite line, there is a guy in there that says, "We're not making shit up." I want that to be their tagline. Starfighter Inc. We're not making shit up. It's a developer. I
We're not
swear.
fake news or something. Yeah.
I swear to fucking God.
We're not making shit up. They're gonna go.
I love that line.
So they've hired an actual astrophysicist.
Yes, they hired an engineer. They hired an engineer. And so this one engineer guy apparently is vetting all of the, they're just like, that's good enough.
So this is ultra realistic space combat. So you have to empty your urine bag and shit like that. I mean, are they going? I mean, how much of a simulation are they going? I have no idea.
I'm looking at their Kickstarter, and I still see them planes shooting out lasers, and that's not realistic.
Well, based on current theories of what people think could happen, to extend a bit further, so they're not doing everything that we absolutely can do right now, but things that we know could happen, but maybe, or we have a pretty good idea we could do, so they're extending it a bit. Yes, I just like that one dude when you watch that video. He's like, "We're not making shit up."
Even though we are going to have alien races and shit like that, but we're not making shit.
I'm going to give this to them. I'm going to say, let's take that, and I'm going to gentrify it, and we're going to just say this: we ain't fucking around.
Yeah. Well, I just pledged $50 using your PayPal account.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. I love it.
Now a backer.
There's nothing in that account, but that'll be amazing. This podcast has stripped all my money from that account. Yeah.
I'm just I have access to your PayPal.
My TeamSpeak did it alone. I had to kill TeamSpeak. Now we're officially Discord.
Dude, they've raised 46,000 out of 150,000 goal.
They got some time. Cool. They got about a month, I think.
People love the fucking space shit, man.
It does look nice. I'm not gonna lie. It looks nice. Mm-hmm. And I'm not giving them
I hope it's better than
negative
Starship
review here or talking shit. I'm talking shit, but I'm making fun because it's funny. That
Yeah,
they're
it
like,
is kind of funny.
We ain't fucking around.
It's got full VR support. That's cool.
It doesn't have joystick support apparently yet.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was mouse keyboard. So
Player hangers. Yeah, I wonder how the people at Star Citizen feel about this because
here's another tagline for them.
I donated to that. I fucking I just
yeah. Well, you got your refund, right?
Their millions of dollars.
No, I never got my refund.
Yeah, they probably too busy swimming through their millions of dollars to even look and see what other people doing.
And salty tears of the people that never got refunds. It's true. Bastards.
I might check this out. I don't know.
Yeah. They could also say this because it seems to be the thing that everybody says about anything related to being difficult. The Dark Souls of sci-fi games. They could call it that, or of space games. There you go. Because everything that's hard, that's like vaguely hard or somewhat like Dark Souls, it's like, Dark Souls, like, that's what it is. It's like Dark Souls. Like this game that's coming out, The Surge. So it went, I keep bringing it up because I'm going to get it at some point. Developer Deck 13. Yeah, they developed Lords of the Fallen, which Lords of the Fallen, a lot of people were like, it's garbage. It was uninspired, blah, blah. But it's got a 68 on Metacritic. And Graham has this theory that if anything's around 70%, it's probably a pretty decent game, And
it's not a bad game at all.
Yeah, so kind of like the whole thing with Mass Effect and like we were talking about with the Spiders games or whatever. Hopefully this game is better than Lords of the Fallen. But the other thing is there's no Dark Souls like for technology. So this is one right here. And they actually, they actually say they're more influenced by Fallout games than Dark Souls. That's what they feel they're more in line with. So yeah, you can pre-purchase it now through sometime like a long time May or something. Who knows? For 10% off. So it takes it from like $49.99 to $44.99, and then you also get like 3 bonus items
as well.
Yeah, you get like 3 bonus items, some rig, some implant, and something else.
Some rig.
I don't because they. Okay, let me tell you, and you're gonna know. You're gonna know from the name, right? The Creo PS01 limited rig. What the fuck? I don't fucking know what that is.
What the hell is that? Yeah.
Exactly. So you get a rig, you get a couple of implants. Hopefully they're D's. I don't know. So we're just. Mechanized counterweight V0.09, and dowsing OS proximity sensor add-on implant. So I don't know what that means. I don't care.
Yeah. What I will say that one thing that had crippled Lords of the Fallen, was that
the following.
It had a really buggy launch. Like it was not working.
I remember that
system, so that really hurt it. So again, that's like, that's why. I think that reviews should be nowadays. Reviews should be like, this is how it was when it first came out. This is how it is now.
We're gonna return to it.
Yeah, games come up with some issues and they get fixed.
Yeah,
but people never look back.
Right.
Or
ideally,
people look back, but they only look back on what was there and they don't think about what has changed.
Yeah, and ideally, it would be developers just make a good game. But we know that's not going to happen already. Look, we have the data from experience. It's not happening. So they'll just have to return to the game later on and just say, all right, here's our second review of it. Maybe the developers can, bump a little extra money for them. Hey, it's been 6 months. Come check out the game again. There you go. There's an idea.
Yeah.
Throw money at the
problem.
For me,
I'm a lot more willing to accept that a game having technical issues when it first comes out because, all right, let's go back to like when the first StarCraft came out or Warcraft. Systems were a lot more similar then. Like there weren't that many variations of, I got 16 gigs of RAM, or I got 8, I got 32, I got, or this is my processor, I got i5. Some people still using some way old processors. Some people using newer processors. Sometimes the configurations are so great now that you can do in comparison to, let's say, 20 years ago, that you can't really expect that game is going to run perfect on everyone's system.
Right.
But if the developer says that, within a few months or a month or two or whatever, we can fix this, and they do it, then I'm okay with that. Because it's going to happen. But that requires people to be patient, and that's not going to work. ever
Yeah.
with humans.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that it's on the onus is on developers now to push a little money at the reviewers, in about 6 months or so, and say, hey, here's like this is like $50. Go check it out again, man. Can you update my score? Thanks.
Yeah,
So,
actually, yeah, that might be something that they need to budget for.
Business is business.
developers. Yeah.
Bribing critics, they need to budget.
No, not bribing them.
Well,
but
I
getting them
mean,
I
to
know.
look at
I'm
it again.
just messing with you.
bribe is a strong word. It's the correct word, but it's a strong word. We can find another one. I mean, for $5, how could we could change that to? We could change it to something else.
Hey, going back for a second to
Yes.
the Starfighter Inc. I'm looking at their Kickstarter, and it's Impeller Studios, and they're showing the pictures of all their devs, and they've got everybody with a nice picture, except the last guy there is they've made a cartoon animation of a guy that looks like Shaggy.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, really? He's
That's
like
the guy.
leaning back in his chair. I'm like, oh, that's confidence building there
Wow.
for your Kickstarter campaign. But
I want to see this. Well, maybe there's always people that don't want pictures of themselves.
right, exactly, or they didn't have. But
Okay, I'm going through. Yeah, there's this guy. Hey, he's just a janitor, dude. That's why he looks like he's got that
That's
blue
why-
shirt on the hat. Yeah, I'm just here.
He brings the weed.
Look,
Yeah,
Listen, he just didn't have as fancy a mustache as that guy in the first row. And he was like, I can't compete with this. Here's a cartoon. Look, even the cartoon doesn't have a mustache. Just has a little goatee. So he probably didn't feel good about it.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy has a wicked mustache, so I feel insecure.
Well,
with that.
I don't
I
really-
don't even want a mustache.
I don't like the whole no mustache but just chin bullshit. I think and the underneath the lip that always looks weird to me. I'm like, get a mustache, motherfucker, or just shave that shit off because you look like a douchebag. Like, do you have a soul patch too? I'm just saying. Probably.
He might be balding. They might be balding on their lip, man. You don't know what
That's
kind
true,
of conditions people have, man.
Yeah, that's true. They're probably balding. Yeah.
None on the top, all on the bottom, on the sides.
You grow it where you can. I understand.
I shouldn't have brought it up. I'm sorry.
What? This is nothing against. It's just a cartoon.
It struck me as funny, though.
It is funny, but
Looks like he'd be eating a bag of Scooby snacks or some shit.
He might be their lead illustrator.
he probably is.
He might be, yeah.
Or the weed guy, like Count said.
The weed guy.
He just shows up in a delivery man uniform. I'm here. They're like, oh, let's get baked. Yeah.
Yay, Dan's here. He's got the weed, guys.
We can, and then the management's like, oh man, that's awesome. They're gonna be working forever now. Perfect.
Yeah, they're gonna work through this weekend for sure.
They're not even gonna remember how many days they worked. We can pay them for half the time. This is perfect.
Hey, there was a new game I wanted to bring up real quick.
Yeah, go
that's
for it,
coming
man.
out, Jans.
I'm done with games, anyways. I just got.
I don't mean
things.
to derail you or anything, but have
Please
you
do.
seen? It's a game coming out March 28th. Narcosis.
Nope.
Survival horror
Something
under.
is-
Yeah, it's an underwater game. It says survival
man,
horror
that.
beneath the sea. I totally did not know about this. I guess it's been in development for a couple years, but I can't wait to play this game. It's also for the VR, but this game looks awesome, man.
March
I love
28th?
the HUD, the heads-up display that's in your aquatic helmet or
When is it
whatever.
coming
It
out
just
again?
looks cool. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no.
When's it coming out again?
I think it's coming out March 28th, which
Okay.
is 10 days from now on Steam. So, I'm definitely jumping on this game. That fucking shit looks creepy.
I don't need any extra horror elements for the sea. I don't think human beings do at all. You just go down deep enough and you're gonna freak the fuck out. I think that's
Especially VR, but I don't have a VR, but I wish I did for this game. But
look, if we put you in the ocean 1,000 fucking
dude, I'm shark bait. What the fuck?
well,
You might as well.
just a blue whale passing by your human body. That thing is massive. You would
Blue whale's the biggest creature to ever exist on the
your
planet.
mind would
so-
explode.
Oh yeah.
Just
Could you imagine being swimming?
Ugh, okay, all right.
and
Let's talk about something else. God, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Oh, you shouldn't watch this trailer for the game then.
I'm not going
Yeah.
to. I'm not doing
Can
it.
you imagine swimming though and looking over and seeing a giant eyeball?
Okay,
open
okay,
and
yeah,
it's
I
a
can.
fucking- It's a blue whale. Yeah, I know. I'm getting
Fuck
fucking.
reading early in life and developing a creative mind.
Yeah,
Kids, just play sports. Fuck reading.
Yeah.
Just.
But I cannot wait to play this game. I know I'm sounding like a.
That's awesome.
Oh, I can't wait to play it. It's gonna be the great. No, but looks cool. Looks really cool, man.
That's awesome. I have not. Yeah, I mean, I want to play the Surge, but I'm not like.
I've been waiting on Outland, 2 or what's it called?
No. You're talking about that horror game that you run away from like crazy people or something, right?
Yeah.
Outlast. Is that what it is?
Outlast, yeah, or
Outlast
whatever.
2?
Yeah, whatever.
That got banned somewhere
I saw that for
like
violence.
sex or something.
Yeah, some kind of violence. I think it was Australia. I'm like, really?
That makes sense. I know it makes sense though because they banned for the weirdest things, but then they're like,
But they're
"Hey,
like
we're gonna have
rough.
murder sports now."
Yeah, exactly. They're like rough and tumble dudes down there, but then they like get triggered by Grand Theft Auto or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just doesn't kind of doesn't seem right. But
Yeah,
this Darkosis game, man, I guess it's Honor Code developer. I guess it's their first game, so we'll see. But I'll be playing this day one. There's no doubt. I just hope it's not $60. I hope it's,
yeah.
it might be, but I hope it's like something like $40 or something. That would be cool.
$30, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
$30 is a nice. I like that price point. And then I'll wait for a
$10.
sale when I pay it on $30. I'll wait for a sale. Just
Well, I was
$15 is a solid number. I'm just saying, $15.
Yeah, Volts is talking about Subnautica, but Subnautica is more like a cartoony.
Yeah,
If I'm more like a cartoony type, a little bit.
Yeah, that is very horror genre.
Yeah, this one's more. Yeah, this is more. Just I don't know, darker, and I like it. I like it.
Oh,
Well, I'll say in other news.
yeah, please.
Speaking about gaming, since I'm sure John's wanting to top it. Change.
Yeah, I've only got 3 things left, and they're all movie things. So whenever we're done with gaming, I'll bring that stuff up. Yeah.
Well, speaking about gaming and this like console gaming, apparently now Japan is now finally actually going to, and some people probably don't even know they're still making them, but they're actually stopping production of the PS3.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah,
and that's console
beast.
came out back in 2006.
Yeah,
That's
isn't that crazy?
10 years ago, just over 10 years.
Yep,
That's solid. That's beast. That's how you know you have a good product.
Yep.
Yeah, they say they estimated about, because they don't like to give out their figures. Sony and Xbox. This is probably about 84 million units.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sold
Yep.
up to this date. But the other thing too is that I saw that they were saying that even though it came out in 2006, it didn't get released in like Brazil till like 2010. So,
really?
And yeah, so it's kind of like they might be not making it in Japan, but does that mean that globally they won't be, still selling or making them for the other markets? Because those things still have a longevity in other places that get them at a later time.
Right.
So
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I have no idea
but
either.
I
remember it
thought
was
that,
like $500 when it first came out, though, wasn't it? 400.
Probably.
I honestly thought that they stopped making them because it's like you got the PlayStation 4 and the Scorpion. I'm like, they still making this?
No. PS4 and the PS4 Pro. Scorpio is Xbox.
Pro. Oh, right.
Xbox.
Scorpion is Xbox, right.
But
That's
no,
coming
I didn't.
later this year.
I wouldn't think they were making them either. I just thought they were like. I knew games were still backwards compatible, but I didn't think that they were making them for the PS3. I only got it for Rock Band. That's it.
Janser wanted to rock out.
Hell yeah, I did.
He wanted to join the B3 boy band.
No, fuck no.
Oh, I can see you in a boy band. Come
Oh
on.
God, no.
I'm just
I
kidding.
don't have the right voice for it or attitude.
You're really taking me serious.
And here's the
Really.
pissy one. Oh, fuck this shit.
Here's the salty one.
Yeah. I don't remember that being a character. What?
Yeah. Huh? Salty Smurf. What?
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Other gaming news, anybody?
I just wanted to hype
Other than
that Well, the
No,
Ship
that's
of
it.
Heroes
Good news.
Kickstarter starts April 4th.
Oh, right,
That's
right.
something to look for. I'll be checking that out.
Did you see any? There was something else that came out with them recently.
They did kind of a tribute video. It was
Okay.
kind of a tribute, trying to drum up some nostalgia for City of Heroes, So, yeah, it was just kind of a short little, tribute.
Gotcha. I did
video
see
or
that.
something.
I
Yeah.
did see that where they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, Spirit. You know, we
Unless
and that
they came
video,
out with something else, I haven't really been following too much,
Yeah, we get comments on that video. Like I got some today, even. So
Oh,
you know,
okay.
yeah, people like it. So
Yeah.
clearly,
Yeah.
what was one of them here?
I'm looking forward to it. I just want the game to come out. I'm not part of the process, so I just want to play the damn game. I don't
This
want to.
guy said, "Me and my wife just got very happy after hearing this news. City of Heroes was a big deal for us. I hope this comes true."
Damn.
Yep.
Must be
nice.
nice to have a wife that plays video games.
Right? That's what I'm talking about.
Hope my wife's not home. Okay. I think she is.
or on Twitter.
Yeah.
Or with a fake account in the in
Trolling.
Twitch right now. Yeah.
She's been known to do this.
Surprise! It was actually Graham. Oh wait, Graham's. Wait, no. Graham. Wait, I don't know what I'm trying to say there.
Oh boy. But
No more
that's
gaming
about
news?
My video game news. I didn't really have.
All right.
My big
Oh,
deal
that
was
news is-
still trying to finish Horizon, and I played Mass Effect Andromeda. That was my big.
Good. I like this.
Yeah.
I like not having to go for 3 hours. I got 3 pieces for fucking movies / TV shows, and we can talk about that Iron Fist thing.
Well,
Number
we know
one,
we're going to talk a little
yeah.
about Iron Fist. Yeah.
The Matrix is getting a not reboot. It's not getting a reboot, but it's get the like genre or whatever of the world, the universe is coming back. They're going to be
Right.
making new movies.
Like a spin-off. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be doing movies in that universe. And apparently, who's the guy that played Black Panther?
No, it's not him. I saw people saying that, but that's not the name. That's not the right
him.
name.
Not a game, a movie.
No, I know who you mean. But
Well, then this article got it wrong.
I
What's the
can't
name
pronounce
of
the
the
guy's name that does Black. I forget his name.
All I know is T'Challa, and I think that's harder than a normal name.
Oh, T'Challa is the actual fictional name.
I
thought
know.
you meant the-
I know.
I
That's what
thought-
I'm saying. I don't remember that. Michael. It's isn't it something? He's got a name like somebody else's name. Michael B.
looking for
Jordan.
it now.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, but he's not the guy that played Black Panther.
Yeah, he was in Creed. He's Apollo
Yeah.
Creed's son, and he was in Fantastic Four. He was
Apparently,
as a Human Torch.
yeah.
the best known for Creed, the Fantastic Four, and Marvel's upcoming Black Panther, is reportedly being eyed for the lead role.
Yeah, he's in the Black Panther movie, but he's not playing Black
Oh,
Panther. He doesn't play
fuck
Black
my
Panther.
life.
Chadwick Boseman plays Black
Yeah.
Panther.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen
God damn it, the way
articles
they
where they
titled
said that he's playing Black Panther. So
But he's
it's
not. I mean,
it's
Black
all
Panther
black
was
people
Civil
look alike,
War.
right? You know?
Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. Yeah.
It's how they word it, dude.
Yeah.
It's getting. Well, I don't. I'll fix that sentence later when I put up the notes. But apparently the Wachowskis are not going to be part of that. They're both like women now. Apparently, Lana and I don't know. But it's just, if you had been around when The Matrix came out, which I think we all were, it was like, okay, now later on, it's like, they're not going to be associated with it, and they're now women. So Keanu Reeves said he would only be part of it, or he'd like to be part of it, but only if they were part of that too. And I kind of agree with them.
Only if who was part of it?
Lana,
The Wachowskis.
Lana and Lily.
Wachowski brothers. Yeah.
Sisters now. But I agree with them.
Yeah.
They're the ones that changed the fucking movie world. Like that was a huge fucking movie. That really did change a lot. I remember.
And then they did Speed Racer.
Oh God. Well,
Well,
Christina
to their
Ricci
credit,
was
they
in
also
that.
did do another pretty cool movie called Ninja Assassins. I thought was pretty good.
Right.
Never heard of it. But I liked all the Matrix
It didn't
movies.
get as much. It didn't get as much attention as like Speed Racer and Matrix. So yeah.
I hated the Matrix movies. I'm just gonna say I
No.
never got it. I saw it opening night in the theater, the original Matrix,
Yeah.
and we went with like 4 or 5 people, and everyone loved it, and I was sitting there going, I just
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah.
Maybe too
I
different.
mean, they were like, "Oh, you didn't understand the abstract." Yeah, I understood it. Okay, jerk off. I understood the movie. I just didn't like it. I thought it was fucking. I just didn't think it was cool.
Was that your friend you were talking to? I understood it, jerk off.
Yeah, I said that. Don't get that. If I didn't like it, it's because I didn't understand.
Yeah, no,
it.
people
It was
do
too
that.
Just.
And as for you, dickhole.
Yeah, I get
and
it.
you, fuckface. Hey, we're dating. Oh, yeah, right. Well, yeah. Fuckface. Wait. Apparently, a guy named Zach Penn is going to be screenwriting for it. But the problem is he did 2008's The Hulk, Elektra, and he's going to be doing Ready Player One. But Hulk and Elektra sucked.
Well, the 2008 Hulk didn't suck. But he didn't direct that. He wrote it, but he didn't direct it.
Yeah, that's the material that you work with,
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, it's a nice statue, but it looks like shit because it's made of shit. So, the source is what the movie is. So regardless of the directing, it just...
Elektra was a bunch of shit, though, I gotta say. That movie did nothing.
Elektra was absolute garbage, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he's going to be doing Ready Player One, which is interesting. I've heard about that damn book forever.
Yeah. They should have just called Elektra Emotional Assassin. That should have been the name of the movie. All she did was crying. It's like she cried more than she stabbed people.
Oh, I forgot.
I have a strong woman.
Gift to where I forget horrible movies, and you have this gift of making me remember them, Phil. Don't do that. I've forgotten most of that
Spider-Man 3 movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I guess he also wrote. I liked the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie with Ed Norton. I liked that.
I liked Ed Norton. I thought the movie was garbage, but his role was fine when he was Bruce Banner. But I also like him as an actor, so I think that's the problem. I just like him as an actor. But I thought the movie was not good.
All that,
it was neat having the Abomination in there. Yeah.
He also wrote, but this is definitely a scratch on his resume, though. He wrote X-Men: The Last Stand.
Look, you can't get past Elektra, man. You can't.
Yeah.
Forget that in itself is like, okay, that's interesting. You did that thing and you did this, and then there's this rotting carcass. What?
Yeah.
I mean, jeez.
Either one are bad.
So
that Elektra movie should have never been made.
No.
Jennifer Garner.
They made it, and she ruined it, and it was a bad movie anyway. It's like when they throw.
I don't even know if I could blame him because they did do the Daredevil one before that, and they should have known that was bad. You know what? Yeah. They should have at that point. They should have got him off the toilet and looked back. It's a turd. Just flush it. Just get rid of it.
And Colin Farrell is Bullseye. Get the fuck out of here. Who's casting this bullshit? But I guess he wrote Last Action Hero.
What? Okay.
Zach Penn.
That's not a horrible movie, but it's not great. It's got
great.
its place. Yeah, it's got some things in it,
The only thing I remember about Last Action Hero is when Arnold Schwarzenegger said, you want to be a farmer? And then he kicks that guy in the nuts and says, "Here's a couple acres." Wow. Yeah, that was.
But he's, it was intended to be horrible lines.
Of course. It's supposed to be cringy.
Get the king of that.
Yeah, it was kind of funny though.
All right, X-Men Last Stand is where they introduced like a million mutants in that one movie, right?
I didn't even see it. I don't know.
Yeah, where it had the Wolverine against the Dark Phoenix type at the end,
and Juggernaut.
They had the Juggernaut
running through walls. That was horrible.
The ex.
Oh no! Did I see this too and put it out of my mind?
Jones.
No. Is it where he says, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch"?
I'm the Juggernaut.
Oh, bitch. God damn it! I did see it and I put it out of my mind.
I used that clip in my Juggernaut video for Marvel Heroes.
It's coming back. It's the one with the bridge.
Philemon strikes again.
Is it the one with the bridge? There's a bridge. Is there a bridge in this one that gets like warped by Magneto or something like that?
I believe that's right.
And they're like mutinizing them or whatever.
Yes.
Oh God, I did see it. I did see it.
Formula that.
Oh my God, what is wrong with me, or what's right with me that's going wrong?
I think my superpower is actually to bring back the horrible things.
Horrible memories of bad movies that I watched that I just
over and over. I saw that in the theater actually.
Oh wow!
I'm like an evil Xavier.
You are.
Into your mind.
Just extracting all the horrible movies I watched.
Onslaught. Yeah.
Hey, remember that movie? No, I never watched it. And then you start just going, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Jeez. There's an anime that came out a long time ago called Devilman. Apparently it was a graphic novel. Apparently Netflix Japan is going to get it. Don't know if it's coming to the States, but Devilman was super graphic and all of that. Yeah, so that'd be... I actually kind of interested in seeing what they do with that.
I watched part of that a long time ago. Yeah. I think I rented that or something.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it.
I like anime and stuff like that, and Devilman was pretty graphic as hell, so I'm like, oh, that would be nice if it actually does, come out. But it's going to Japan first, so we'll see if it actually makes it to the States. I don't see why it wouldn't.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Janzer.
No, that was it.
Are you guys going to go see Ghost in the Shell? I'm just wondering.
I'm not going to go see any movie.
He's boycotting the movie.
I wait till they come to me.
Yeah, I know. They're fucking expensive, man.
It is.
Popcorn and shit. But anyway, and I can't resist. But
I don't know. Ghost in the Shell isn't on my list per se.
It's not on my list either. But I guess they have a YouTube video where they actually went to Japan and interviewed like teenagers in the streets of Japan to see if they were offended by Scarlett Johansson being in that role. And they're like, no, people. Hell no. She's kick ass. No.
Well, Japanese actually like white people too. It's not it's
Only
not an unheard thing.
People. Yeah.
They really do. It had something to do with the occupation of Japan, after they nuked them, and then it's like, well, now we're going to be, they're very used to that kind of stuff. So, but they don't really like dark people or anything like that. So, yeah, they're weird. But
Japanese people. If Japanese people don't have any problem with it, why would a white person be offended?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. People. Last thing I had, we can talk about Iron Fist because that rolls right in that. But Aquaman movie getting delayed. What?
Hang on. I watched Kong Skull Island.
Oh,
bring that in there too.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't say we were ending the podcast. I just said the last thing I have is
wait a second.
Before we
said the last thing,
Oh yeah, because I said I had 3 things. These are the 3 things.
The last thing, Janzer.
Yeah, sorry. No, I just want to get it out of the way so I can hear what y'all have to say.
Thing you were talking about, so just checking.
Yeah, no, I just want to get rid of my stuff so I can hear what y'all have.
Phil's gonna watch that.
All right, well,
that's your homework.
Let's talk about Iron Fist then. What's that?
I want to hear about Kong Skull Island. Your thoughts?
Oh, I actually enjoyed the movie. It was pretty good. The CGI was freaking amazing. Like huge ass gorilla. I guess Cliff face is getting destroyed. His head coming through the mist. I also like that it wasn't. They didn't try to say, well, how you have like your big creatures or whatever, and they wait for a little while before they reveal it. Nah, Kong just gave me the movie from the start.
Oh, really?
It was like, we worked hard on this CGI, and we're gonna show you how good it looks. And it was freaking funny. After the first few minutes, you saw Kong's face, big and bold.
Damn.
And
that is, that's that's usually they wait until at least like 45 minutes in or some shit,
Yep. And it had good pacing too, because then they've added like some story, because it was kind of like, they started from World War One, and then they kind of skipped ahead to World War II, because one of the characters was apparently a person that was on the island from a long time before, the actual like American.
Okay.
So it's an interesting little story as to what happened there and how he's there, and then his interaction with like the natives, and that was kind of a nice tribute to like all the King Kong movies, and it felt like King Kong had more of a personality, as opposed to, all right, we go in here, we can find a big ass gorilla, we can drag him back to our country, and we can showcase him, and then he's gonna get pissed. Nah, it was like you're in his land, he has a personality, he's king there, like how it was in the older movies,
right?
And this huge ass gorilla actually has a personality and has a purpose on the island, as opposed to just a big gorilla. Let's catch him.
Yeah.
Now, I saw one big YouTuber, Chris Stuckman. He's like one of the biggest movie reviewers on YouTube, he usually gets early access to some of the movies, and he said that he didn't like the CGI. Did you?
Really?
But from what I've seen, the CGI looks really good. So, normally I agree with most things he says. So, hopefully I'm not misquoting him or something. But
did he say specifically what CGI he didn't like?
I'm not sure. He said
Kong.
it was like a little underwhelming, but maybe I misunderstood him. I don't know. I might have to go back and look at that review. But
maybe
he said the characters weren't fleshed out very well either. But I'm just kind of.
Well, my thing is that there were a lot of different kind of characters in there. And I don't think anybody really needed to be like, oh, I need a deep backstory on this person. You knew pretty much, all right, this person is this character.
Right.
This is what they do, and this is why they're here. This person does this, like, you know, I can't remember that guy, English guy that played Loki.
Loki, he's the star. Yeah.
He's like, he's a tracker.
Tom Hiddleston.
We need a tracker. Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He's a tracker. We need a tracker. All right. He's in the story. But
wait, they didn't make an Indian the tracker?
That's like
racist.
Jurassic Park. They didn't really. No, I guess Jurassic Park. It kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park now that you put in their tracker, because there was a tracker in there. They didn't go into his backstory either.
Yeah, but
he was just tracker dude, and then it was clever girl, and that was it.
Yeah, but I found that specific characters they played their role well in terms of like, all right, Samuel Jackson, straight up army guy, fuck this gorilla, he killed some of my men.
No, he would never play that role.
Right.
Yeah, but he played that role, so you believe that he was that guy. I didn't need to find out, oh well, you know, he had this amount of time in the war, and you know, this is why he feels this way. But he was an army guy. He didn't have a life outside of the army, so he took on this mission as well.
Gotcha.
That motherfucking gorilla, and I hope he burns in hell. What's
tired of these motherfucking gorillas on this motherfucking island.
Mm-hmm. But I thought the PSN was nice.
Yeah.
Even the guy that was he's more in like comedic roles, or like Will Ferrell and those kind of movies. The same one that was saying that, oh, you guys shouldn't have come here, you know, you're all gonna die.
I know
you're gonna be gorilla food.
Yeah, he actually had some like serious moments and stuff in it, and it was, to me, I found it was pretty well done. I don't know if people are expecting like this big epic drama or something. It's King Kong.
Well, I mean,
fucking gorilla.
It's huge at the box office. It made massive money.
Okay, so that's all it needed to do for that director, because remember, he's going to be doing Metal Gear movie coming up. So
he's a shoo-in now, Janzer.
Yeah,
because I mean, Skull Island financially is killing it. You know, even when some critics bash it, it's still, everyone wanted to go see it. You know,
right?
Not everyone, but I mean,
one thing I always find an issue with like the movies that have like big monsters or big creatures,
kaiju.
They just don't have. It's just like, all right, this thing comes to kill us, and that's it. And all the emphasis is on humans. I found this kind of had like a little twist on it, where it was like, all right, there's a lot going on behind Kong. You don't understand, and the characters were learning or choosing to ignore what they were learning about what was going on the island, and it was all centered around Kong.
John C. Reilly.
Nice.
John C. Reilly, yeah.
That's who you're talking about.
There you go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He actually has some decent range. I know we see
he's
him
a
a
good
lot
actor
in comedy, but he's actually a pretty good actor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He does some silly shit like Talladega Nights, but he's still, he's still a good actor.
Will Ferrell, on the other hand, doesn't really have a lot of range.
No.
I
wanted to talk about the Marvel connection. You've got Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. You've got Tom Hiddleston as Loki, and then you have Brie Olson, who's going to be Miss Marvel.
Oh
yeah.
That's a good
Brie
choice.
Olson is the
She's the war photographer.
Yeah. Well, she's the Jessica Lange or the Fay Ray, stand-in. And I love the 1976 Kong with Jeff Bridges. Oh, I love that movie.
I remember that one.
I saw that in the theater when I was 7 years old. I remember my mom.
They used to play that on like network all the goddamn time.
It's a damn good movie. That's Jessica Lange's first movie, I believe. But
gotcha.
It's a damn good movie, and I that's the thing about Kong. in the movies, you actually want Kong to like step on dudes. You know, you start rooting for the gorilla. I do anyway, but you know.
Oh yeah,
he's a sympathetic character. You know,
right?
He stepped on a few dudes.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
But what about the end credit scene with the? Isn't there I don't mean to spoil it, but isn't there a Godzilla roar? Because they're setting up Godzilla.
Well, I think people know that.
Yeah,
that's going to happen.
People know it by now. The cat's out of the bag. But
I honestly didn't. I don't know if that happened right away or not, but I didn't stick around for any of that.
Oh, you didn't stick around? Okay, because they're kind of everyone's copying off Marvel now with the after credit scenes. And
and I'll be honest, I can't tired of that shit.
Really? I love that shit. My wife
Marvel
hates it.
didn't start it for sure. After credit scenes have been around. It's just that Marvel pretty much does it almost every time, I think.
Right. They're known for that. That you know, stick around on a Marvel movie. And I thought they started that.
I think it might just be like a personal opinion, but to me that's kind of like a TV series, whereas like you leave in like a little cliffhanger. It's like let me just watch a fucking movie. Let me enjoy that movie. And if you want, do a little teaser for another movie before this movie, or you know, you want to release it online afterwards, then great. But I don't know. I just find it just kind of cheapens the movie a little bit.
I love them. I love the after credits.
I don't share that opinion that it cheapens the movie.
I don't think it cheapens it.
But it's because people just sit down and wait around for that stuff afterwards. Because just watch this movie to just sit around for that. I don't know.
Watching a movie is like a leisurely thing. It's not like I need to get in there. Let's watch this movie. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Fucking go. You know.
That's my wife during a Marvel movie.
That's me in like shopping. I fucking hate shopping.
I will say that I needed to pee after the movie, so that's probably why I didn't stick around. So
there you go. You missed the Godzilla roar, man. God damn it.
Oh man, I should have burst my bladder.
Just let it go. Just right down the.
But yeah, that's got the Marvel connection, and I can't wait to see Brie Olsen. She's kind of hot anyway, but I can't wait to see Brie Olsen.
Agree.
Miss Marvel. Yeah.
On all accounts of what you said.
Yeah. I'm geeking out right now. So.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be a big topic. That's why I kind of wanted to push this Aquaman thing because it was really quick.
Ooh.
But the movie's going to get delayed for a Venom movie instead in 2018. So that should be coming out. A solo Venom movie, which is not a Marvel movie, even though Sony's working with Marvel now, right? But it should be in October of 2018 is what they were figuring now, and then the Aquaman got pushed back from October to December. So
they've already given Venom a release date, and I'm like, they don't have the goddamn movie cast yet. How in the hell are they going to have a release date?
Exactly.
You say it's not a Marvel movie. You mean it's just a movie done by Sony, but it's not from Marvel.
It's not Marvel Studios,
right? Spider-Man, that's owned because when Marvel was going down hard, they started selling off properties.
Yeah,
I remember. I know that.
Yeah. X-Men, Fantastic Four.
I didn't know that. I learned that recently.
Spider-Man. Yeah,
because they only just reacquired the rights to be able to use Spider-Man with the agreement through
Homecoming.
Sony,
like I learned that history maybe a couple of weeks ago at most, maybe last week.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know how they had gone to another investor like in Canada or something like that. And how they had how they had created Marvel Studios to reinvigorate like their cash because they had none, and how that investor didn't like what they were doing with Marvel because they felt it was very risky. So they went outside of the investor himself in order to they had to put up capital, and they're like, all right. Well, here's these characters, take your pick, or here's all of them. Yeah, I didn't know any of that. So to me, it was news. But yeah, that's why Sony has that because they bought one, But and that's all I have. I have no info other than they moved that stuff around. That
the Venom movie, that's kind of risky. I mean, I wonder if they're going to tease the Venom movie during Homecoming at the end or something. I don't know, but
I'm also wondering if they choose Venom to push Venom up because of everybody saying they're making like these R-rated superhero movies. So it's like maybe we could do Venom and make him dark.
They did mention that it might be a hard R. They did mention that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the thing now. Look at Logan, Deadpool, the two biggest. I mean, you're talking about Logan and Deadpool are killing it at the box office.
Here's the thing. So. It actually makes sense for a Venom movie to be fucking violent as hell and to be,
Well, he's a cold-blooded killer. I mean, that's what he does.
As long as they don't get whoever that guy was.
Topher Grace. No, don't say that.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. That's like
Don't say
getting the same guy to
fucking
play
hate
Lex Luthor, that garbage dude that I forget his name. I always remember his name. I can't remember it now.
Jesse
Eisenberg. There you go.
Oh, that was so bad.
Jesse Eisenberg playing Venom. Hey.
Did y'all talked about Logan already on the podcast, right?
I don't recall.
I've not seen Logan. I'm gonna wait for video on that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna say anything much more than I think it's probably the best superhero that's not a superhero movie.
Right. Oh, that's what most people are saying. So
I heard that it was okay. That it wasn't as great as a Marvel movie, like has been, but that it had its ups and downs and came out okay. Especially given how his past Wolverine stuff has been, it's been hit and miss.
I think, this is like, you gotta disregard like all the other Wolverine movies when you watch this. This is a completely different
type of movie.
Oh no, I know what it's about. Yeah,
it's one of the best non-superhero movies. To me, it was more of like this is a superhero drama movie, and it worked. It worked well.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's what they're going to be going to more. You know what I mean? So
Doug
Hader said he just saw it. He said it was okay.
Well, the X-Men franchise has been okay. That's the problem. They had strong, they had weak, and then they kind of leveled off a bit.
I don't like all these those X-Men 1, 2, and 3. I think they're shit. That's me personally. I don't like them.
I thought 1 and 2 were okay.
Yeah, 1 was pretty good.
I thought
the best part in 2 for me was when Nightcrawler was teleporting all over the place, and then
that was badass.
Kidnapped the president, and then from there the movie just declined steady downhill for me.
Yeah,
a little bit.
2 was okay, but 1 was pretty good.
1 wasn't bad especially for. I mean that movie's been out almost 17 years now. That's crazy.
That's the whole thing. When it came out, if it wasn't
shit when it came out.
If it wasn't more than just okay, it wouldn't have had the impact that it had, and they wouldn't have been able to go forward.
No, people loved it, but I'm just saying for me.
I still think it holds up a little bit. Especially, I think the X-Men franchise has underperformed as a movie. They could have really, they could have nailed it. I think if Marvel Studios would have it, they would nail it a little better. But X-Men, I like First Class. Okay, that was decent, but man. And you said the Wolverine movies have been hit and miss. They've been, in my opinion, Jan, they've been all misses.
Well, there was one. There was the one where he went up against Silver Samurai, right? And they had a very nice kind of about his history and all that. And then it just went to stupid garbage of oh, look at this, we're keeping him alive. No, get out of here. If they would have kept it kind of like what Phil was saying about Logan, more human,
right?
The human aspect of it, it would have been good. But then New Age, whatever, stupid samurai crap and blah blah. Shut up.
Yeah, I agree.
That ruined it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Basically, the second half ruined it.
And the Ryan Reynolds original Deadpool shit. Oh god, that was terrible.
Right.
They sewed his mouth shut and
just
shit.
let Mark. That's why Sony even was like, "All right, we can't do this. We know we can't do it. Well, clearly we suck. Please help us.
Clearly we suck. Yeah.
Look at our Spider-Mans. Right. We have so many of them. We don't even know what to do with them.
Yeah.
Look at our Fantastic Fours.
Oh, please don't look at them.
You know what they're making it? Supposedly they're rebooting Fantastic Four again.
Oh God, no!
I'm like, let it go.
Just stop. Just
let it go, guys.
Make another team.
Yeah. I'd rather see an Alpha Flight movie at this point than
I was going X Factor.
Well, that too. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. I want to see Cable. I guess he's coming in the Deadpool movie. I've heard some bad shit going on with the Deadpool sequel, though. The rumblings have not been good about the losing the director, and they're having problems. And
yeah, that's right. I remember that was a while back. They said
creative differences and shit. I knew this would happen. I knew when they struck gold with the first one that the second one that something would hijack it. So I'm not saying it's doomed, but we'll see. Right, we'll see. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
so that Iron Fist.
We can do a 5-hour podcast about comic books, guys. You know this. Don't get me started.
Oh yeah, no, I'm learning every day, man. I keep absorbing all the new content.
Oh yeah,
like fucking Superman and Lana, like New 52 Superman and Lana coming back. Why? What? Death means nothing to these people.
I haven't even been keeping up on that shit. They're
That
just
means
too much.
nothing. They're like, okay, you guys don't like them, we'll take them away. Hey, they're back.
And they're back. Now they're gone again. And
You don't
they're
need
gone
another. You have the pre-52 that are there now. You don't need the other ones again. They probably brought him back to kill him again. I hope they did. Please kill him again. Just real quick too. Just like and then bring him back real quick again. Just keep jerking
We
him
discussed
around.
this already, Jonathan. If Marvel was created by a bunch of British writers, people would be dead and they wouldn't come back.
Oh yeah,
That would
that's
be
true. That's true.
They are not afraid to kill off
And
characters and
dead.
just let it end. Yep.
Yep.
Who's next? Yeah. Iron Fist. I got no other topics, like I
Fist.
said. So yeah.
Yeah, we might be ending on Iron Fist unless
What did
Phil
I-
has more, but
No,
did I
Iron Fist
tweet
is my
out?
last thing.
Yeah. Do you want to talk? You saw 4 episodes. Do you want to talk about it?
I've seen 8
Well,
episodes
you saw
of Iron
8.
Fist.
You saw 8.
and so
I
has
didn't see
Phil,
any.
but I don't really want to talk about the actual plot that much.
No,
I
in
mean,
a non-spoilery, whatever.
well, I mean, I'm kind of wanting to know, what do you think so far, Phil? Have you watched any of it, Chancellor?
no, that's what I said. I haven't seen any.
You
of
haven't?
It.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So, what do you think so far, Phil? Like, is the criticism are the reviews dead on, or what's your thoughts about
I don't think the reviews are dead on, but I can see kind of why they're saying what they're saying. Because, like, overall, my general feel of watching it, it feels like it's just, as I've heard you mention before in other podcasts, a build-up for when all 40 characters come together in that
Oh no.
particular series.
The Defenders.
The Defenders. It
Yep.
feels like
They're not-
it feels like the second Matrix movie. Oh yeah, there's some cool stuff in here.
It's
Oh, there's some nice
filler.
stuff. But it feels kind of like
a
filler.
little bit?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want
I
to hear what
agree.
you're saying.
Well,
I need to turn my ears
I'm
off.
still liking it overall.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
wish there were a little
I-
bit more
Mhm.
stuff going back to the Kunlun stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not a fan of like the short little 3-second flashbacks.
Yeah.
But
What? There's not much of that either.
there's not too
No.
much
Ah.
of that. There's somewhere he's talking to his mentor and nobody else can see him. It's like he's talking to himself, and they're like, "Who are you talking to?" But,
but that's set in the present time though. Like he's
that's in
talking with
present
the
time.
mentor-
That's
yeah.
not. A lot of it focuses on the corporation, the Rand Corporation. and
Oh
what's
God, how
going on.
fucking
Like,
boring.
yeah, it is a little boring. Like I fell asleep during one of the episodes. I won't lie.
I want to
but,
see like a NBC or CBS type of fucking series.
it's a little watered down. They I like it a little more than Luke Cage, but it needs a little bit more. The pacing needs to be a little bit more
A
exciting.
little faster. Yeah.
Yeah, a little faster. I like Finn Jones though. I didn't think I was going to like him as Danny Rand, but he's growing on me, and I think he plays the character to a T, which is triggering all these.
Can I
Bad
read one of those
reviews.
things? Can I read Polygon? Of course,
Yeah.
Polygon.
Yeah, go right
So
ahead.
here's a
Yeah.
quote from Polygon. You can fucking eat it, Polygon, you pieces of shit. I hate
Yes,
Polygon.
I second what you're saying here.
Here's the quote. That attitude, they're talking about how Iron Fist is in the show. That attitude is one of the hallmarks of male privilege.
Get the fuck out of here. I saw that. Yeah.
They're talking about
What do-
like
what do
him
they mean
being
by that?
entitled. I'm like, look, or like just not caring about what people say and just trying to go forward and get what he wants without regard to anybody else. I'm like, no, you fucking idiots. That's called being an idiot. Apparently, you
Yeah,
should know
actually-
because you're being one right now.
He's a
Actually-
he was a-
It's nothing to do
Go
with
ahead.
male privilege.
Actually, I've seen like another article too. They were saying, "Oh, they don't like how he's a white guy and he goes into this Asian lady's dojo and talks her down and tries to take over her training." But they don't speak about the fact that he fucks up with that too,
Oh yeah.
because she has to put him in his place and say, "Hey, I ain't about that," and he backs him. That humbles him. He realizes, you know what? Yeah, I fucked up.
Well, they're not thinking
they don't-
about the history of what has happened to the actual character. He was 10
Mhm.
years old. He's a rich kid. He's a spoiled rich kid who grew up in a monastery. You talk about culture shock. You talk about
Shouldn't that
going
have
from
changed him though? The monastery?
But here's the thing: it did change him. But when he comes back to the real world, he's he doesn't realize that what he's doing is not socially acceptable in some points.
So is he acting like a spoiled rich kid?
No,
brat?
he's not really. He's
because that's what they're
humble.
writing. That's what they're writing. That's what he's acting like.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree. He's acting like he doesn't kind of understand why everyone doesn't get where he's coming from, and he feels like he can just walk in and
Polygon. I hate him.
He does seem a little privileged, but because he doesn't know any better, it's out of ignorance, like you said.
So that's not
it's
privilege.
not because he's privileged. Right. He doesn't know that he's not allowed to trespass. He's naive. Yep. He's like a virgin. He's admitted. It even comes up in the show where he's never been with a woman. I mean, they cover that, and stuff. I mean, he's
actually.
Go ahead.
He seems like a kid.
Okay,
he's a kid that grew up under a strict.
Yeah, but I mean, he still has kid tendencies where he just believes this is the way it is or was.
Right.
So it's still like that, but it's like, no, people have grown up. Things have changed.
Right.
So it's not him being like, I'm entitled to this. It's kind of like, but no, we should be friends. It's like, we're not friends.
He's
that
ignorant.
Kind of thing.
That's the correct word.
I'm an adult. You were not around for all the stuff that happened. We're not really friends anymore. That kind of thing where he has to get a grasp on what reality is now in this part of the world.
He's ignorant. That's what that is. Literally, that's what that means. So it's not a negative connotation. It's just the lack of knowledge. You are ignorant to this. He's ignorant of the social mores.
The character is a very naive character.
And idealistic, apparently.
Yeah, and he's got he kind of runs on this honor system, and he doesn't understand when other people don't understand his little honor code. And that nails the comic book character, because Danny Rand in the comic books, going all the way back to the 70s, the big thing that people didn't like about him was that he kind of had that like Graham says, he's kind of has that sheltered honor exuberance to him that he just doesn't understand why people don't feel the same as he does about certain things. So, like, he doesn't understand when he's saying the truth about something and people don't believe him. It just drives him nuts because, oh my God, I'm telling you the truth, even though it's so unrealistic.
So we could probably safely say that Finn, what's the guy's first name?
Finn Jones.
That is his first name. God damn it. Finn Jones actually did an amazing job because people don't like the character.
They wrote the character as far as the comic book.
Right.
I'm talking about the original Danny Rand character in the comic books perfectly.
So people don't like the character, but they're not able to disassociate that from the fact that the series is pretty okay.
Right. He's living in his own little sheltered world, and it nails it. And I'm one of the few, I think, that sees that. These reviewers don't know the source material. That's the problem. Gotcha. And I called out a few of them on Twitter. I was like, you don't even know. One guy was like, oh, they're stealing off of Batman Begins. No, Batman Begins stole off Iron Fist.
Yes, I saw that backwards, buddy. In terms of billionaires, saying, oh, it's another billionaire rich kid that grows up and is that. And I'm like, well, I mean, if it's not, I don't know which was first or whatever, but these are stories that from, way back when they started the comic. So if they want to keep what was in the stories, then go ahead. But honestly, though, it's not even like Bruce Wayne is just like, he's rich and he's got swag.
Mm-hmm. He's swag. This guy has one.
Yeah, he understands social everything.
Yeah.
He's the Danny Rand is like, all right, I know I was rich. I have no idea what's going on in terms of money or people value stuff or so he's bringing out his like a kind of like an Eastern thing where the value of a person's life is more important than money. I know that I have money, but I have money. But then it's kind of like, that imagine somebody coming into a company like that and saying, "Oh no, you shouldn't do this." It's like, no, that's not how business works. So it's like that. He's just ignorant to how money and business is. So he's not Batman in any shape. No, not
he's
in any shape, form, or fashion.
He's anti Bruce Wayne when it comes to that. He's socially awkward. That's Danny Rand from the comic books.
Okay, I do want to see the series. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm not telling you not to watch it.
I know you're not, and even if you were, I would still watch it. But I'm just saying, like, I was feeling bad about what you guys were saying. Yeah.
Oh no, there's some parts in. I'm not saying it's perfect. I mean,
none of the series
needs more
have
action.
been.
It needs the pacing.
Season 2 of Daredevil was kind of, Jessica Jones and Total was kind of,
Right.
You know,
I agree.
Even
So-
Luke Cage was like, they fucked me midway through with Cottonmouth. In my opinion, I'm still pissed about that, but whatever.
Yeah.
See, one
also
thing I
think
like
that-
doing when I watch the Netflix series, I like picking out the little Easter egg references from the comic books when I read them originally, and I get a kick out of picking out the little Easter eggs that they talk about. Like Lee Kung, the Thunderer, was the guy that like brutally beat him while he was in the monastery to make him tougher. You know, the guy that was his trainer.
I never read Iron Fist like as a series.
Yeah, and they mention him. He's like, and he got a culture shit. They beat the shit out of him basically to toughen him up. And
you know what? You know why I didn't read Iron Fist?
Because he wasn't Asian.
No,
I don't know.
because the original suit looked like garbage to me. I was like, what is this disco stupidity? It looked like disco fucking suit.
Where the collar popped in the air.
It was totally disco. Come on, you know.
Well, you gotta remember that was the age it was.
Yeah, that's why I was like, nope.
Yeah, but I
think they nailed the character.
I think kind of hoping that they go. It goes the opposite route of Luke Cage, where Luke Cage started out kind of hot, and it was like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool. Then you got like halfway through, and then it's like, it kind of fizzled for the last 4 episodes. I'm hoping that this starts off lukewarm. It's here, there, and then
it's picking up a little
strong.
bit.
But I have seen like a few little plot holes too. Like without even saying who it is or whatever. There's a point where a particular character, who's not a good character, shows off their strength that they've never shown before, and is like, whoa, okay. And then the next episode after that is kind of like, it's kind of like, you're coming with me, and I was like, wait, what?
I felt Why don't you show off that?
Arnold?
I know what you're talking about.
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah,
I can only word it that way because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But it just felt like, so did you just do a pretty simple badass move before without any effort, and now you're just kind of giving up?
Yeah.
In this, so yeah.
Well,
I'm just kind of wondering.
That character showed it off one other time in a different Netflix series, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But you know that the character's a badass.
Yes,
but
I know exactly what you're talking about. Phil. Yeah, I know what scene you're talking about.
It has to make sense within the world that they're in, not just to the viewer. Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, it doesn't make sense in the world that they're in, right?
Well, that whole thing is kind of like that with the main character with Iron Fist. Like he shows off so that he's such a badass, and then there's certain scenes where he just like is a pacifist. You know what I mean? Like that shouldn't happen to him.
They should have wrote it better to explain why he would have been pacifist then. Yeah. They should have shown why whatever it was in Kunlun that, or Kunlun, I don't know how you say that.
Kunlun.
But basically, they should have shown why he would have been more prone to pacifism, maybe.
It just kind of, it's a little disappointing that they didn't get back. I wanted to see more of the actual origin story. I know people are sick of origin stories, but this is an origin story I actually wanted to see.
And I think depicted. It makes sense because Iron Fist is not clearly he's not a very well-known character when people were going out there ignorantly saying things that they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly. And they don't have any problem redoing Batman's or showing
or Spider-Man
story or Spider-Man's.
Or the Fantastic Four.
Or exactly
the floppy
well-known ones, but the one I want to see, the Kunlun Lund. I want to see the battle with the Shao Lao, the Undying Dragon shit, and all that. I want to see that, but I still like it. I'm still digging the show a little bit.
But I agree with you, Count. Though, where is a little bit too much of the business and
a little bit too much of the Rand Corporation stuff.
I see too much of the brother and sister. I don't want that much of the brother and sister. Their story isn't bad. Their story isn't bad, but it's like I don't want to know about.
It's a little too much. I 100% agree. I'm a little disappointed that we don't see Misty Knight either yet, because I don't want to spoil it for Janzer, but in the comic books, Danny Rand and Misty Knight were a thing. That was his romantic.
Okay.
Yeah. That was like I think the first interracial couple in comic books. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's the thing about it is those two hooked up. And
I got a feeling that they're probably holding that off for
Defenders type.
Defenders,
But again, I love the Daughter of the Dragon reference though.
Yeah, which kind of ties back to me saying that it feels like filler. feels a little bit like filler. And my issue with that is with it being filler is that, like, for somebody who isn't in or doesn't know anything really about comics and they watch this, it's like the way that Marvel does stuff, which is a cool way of doing things, but it also has its pitfalls where you can't jump in and say, I want to watch one of these things, and then you just watch Iron Fist. But then there's a lot of stuff that's happening in Iron Fist that ties back to what happened in Daredevil, and then what happened in things. So if you watch it out of order, it's going to be like, it's not going to flow properly. So, and then I find that outside, like, Daredevil pretty much stood up on its own. Jessica Jones, kind of.
Definitely Daredevil stood up on its own. Yeah.
Jessica Jones really was on its own. I don't think it really relied on anything else.
Yeah, Luke Cage to me was not really. It didn't really stand out too much. It felt like, all right, this is just introducing this character, and Iron Fist has a bit of that in there as well.
It does have a bit of that. You're exactly right. So some of the criticisms are founded. I'll be the first to admit, criticizing it for him being not being an Asian guy is absolutely ridiculous. That's not a substantial criticism of that. I'm sorry.
There was a comment on I was watching some Iron Fist video, and I was like, oh, let me just see what people are saying. And some dude that was like, I'm full-blooded Native American, and we've been in North America and I was like, well, real quick, I mean, natives have technically been in a lot of places for a very long time, not just North America. Mm-hmm. That's the Hollywood concept of, like, only natives exist in North America. No, they've been in Australia for a real fucking long time. Right. There's natives of Africa. There's natives of fucking India.
And they conquered somebody to get there. They conquered somebody, and they conquered somebody, and then they conquered somebody, and it's a domino effect.
Right.
They just were born there, and everything was hunky dory. No, they fought to steal that land from somebody else.
Well, this guy was all over the place. He was like, well, I don't know why there's not any. He was just kind of crying about why there's no native characters or why they didn't make it big. And I was like, I know of a few of them, but. And at the end of it, I was just like, well, instead of, like, yelling into the void that is the internet on some comic book channel, why don't you do something? Why don't you go make a character? I mean, I wanted to make YouTube content because I didn't see any YouTube content the way that I wanted. So I made it.
Creatively bankrupt. That's the problem. These Marvel writers nowadays want to bitch about people not going on with their forced diversity, but I'm like,
well, this guy who was claiming to be, like, full native was saying this should be an Asian guy because it should have been from the get-go. And I was like, well, look, David Carradine, all right, that should be enough right there because Kung Fu. They were trying to They were trying to pull over these ideas that people weren't used to. Bruce Lee was around at that time in the 70s too, doing the same goddamn thing. And they didn't. They didn't want him for it, of course. But what did he do? He did something about it.
Exactly.
One other thing that you need to understand too is that look at the audience that it was for. If you look at all those comments, who was reading all those comments then? It was made mainly for white people.
Yeah, and it was made by 50. All these characters were created by 50-year-old white guys.
Well, here's the thing. I
think they were diverse.
Bruce Lee still did it. I don't care.
No, I'm not saying that you can't do it.
Yeah.
But if you are doing something to cater towards a particular audience, chances are most people are going to go the direction of, all right, let's put in a white character. But the thing is, though, is that they're also kind of were looking at other races and cultures and stuff and saying, hey, we like this and that. And, people like to call that cultural appropriation, but maybe maybe they just like something about that and they just wanted to incorporate it into something that they were doing.
I hate that term, cultural appropriation. That makes my skin crawl because
it's saying that you can never have every
Asian does martial arts.
Here's the thing. It's saying that you can never have a white rapper, so fuck you, Eminem, exactly. Fuck you, OP, fuck anyone that ever did anything that was like that guy Slug that I was talking about with BC Boys. And that's bullshit. That in itself is fucking racist. You're saying that you can't do it unless you're that?
Hey,
okay.
A white guy invented basketball. Should we criticize black people for playing in the NBA because a white guy invented basketball? No, of course not.
Integration. No,
integration is
appropriation is stealing, taking without permission.
Yeah.
That's different from like, wow, I really like this and I want to do something about it. Maybe I don't know everything about it, but I want to creatively do something. I'm just going to sit on my hands.
Marvel created an Asian martial character the same time as they created Iron Fist. His name is Shang-Chi.
Right.
I mean, Marvel was diverse from the get-go. Marvel had black
my whole
characters,
thing to that guy was,
you know,
you can't change that past and try to correct it now by making somebody that wasn't initially what that was something different just because you think that's going to fix that. It's not going to happen, man.
Right.
You know? Instead, why don't, this guy was crying about, I was like, and then he came back at me like, oh, you're only half? And I was like, oh, right. Because when it's not race, it's class, right?
Right.
Right. That's how it always is. Yep. And I was like, I'm done. But you know what? You kind of figure things out, maybe have a good day, and think about maybe making something instead of just crying.
Exactly.
So
I think when people are young, I'm hoping that in the future, like many decades or hundreds of years in the future,
they'll find something else to hate on.
It'll be like Star Trek.
I think that when you're young, like you're still in your formative years, where your brain is still forming. I think that they should just take you, put you on a spaceship, and shoot you far, far away.
Superman, or is that you?
And then and then look back at see how small the Earth is. And at this point, I say, "Whoa, we're really fucking insignificant, aren't we, on the ground?"
Dude,
yeah. And
there's that game link. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, and then fly you back, because then you'd be like, oh, I really can't be bothered that this person is black or whatever, because when we go far enough away, it's like we don't fucking exist.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that Star Trek episode, the original Star Trek episode where they go down to the Squire of Gothos, and he says, and this is a show in the late '60s, and he said, well, it's depicting hundreds of years in the future, of course, but he goes, oh, I'm a beautiful Nubian queen, and he's like, oh, did I offend you? And she's like, Ahura's like, no, we've learned not to be offended by words that people say. If you're so hung up on, if everything you see is skin color, the way to get around it is quit talking about it.
You know
quit
who
being
said that?
Obsessed with skin color.
Yeah, fucking like Count Basie way back in the day.
Yeah.
He's like, because somebody asked him one time, they were like, oh, how does it feel being like, a leader of the music world for your people? And he's like, my people or anybody that listens.
Being.
He said, my people or anybody that listens to what I play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you want to stop, because he was like, very highly educated, very well cultured, lived up in the north, but I think he came from like New Orleans or something like that. So there was a very mixed there. You have French, you had everything, you had whatever down there in New Orleans. So many different types of people, but people just looked at him like, "Oh, you're black," When in reality, he had no, kind of like the Trevor Noah thing, like he feels like a man outside of his culture in South Africa because he's very, like me, listen to my voice and then see me.
Right.
People would never expect.
For a long time, I thought you were a white dude, man.
Wow, shit. Muddled Muppet. Remember, he made a little cartoon one time of us having the conversation, and he made me a white dude with glasses too. So totally understandable. Right. The point being
that's the thing. These characters transcend race.
Yes.
Like I had one of my best friends in high school was Vietnamese. He loved Spider-Man. He didn't give a fuck what Spider-Man with that mask on could be.
Hey, I love the original Nick Fury. That was a white dude. Does that make me racist because I like that?
Right.
That was what I grew up with.
They made him black.
And he was badass. I just missed the fact that I had lost that badass character. I don't think he's out anymore. I don't think they make anything with him.
But making black, don't change these characters for the forced, because you think you're doing something honorable. It's fake honor. Right. You're not helping anybody or anything by changing these characters because you think that it's going to lift you to a higher moral plane. It's not. You know what I mean? It has no.
Socially, that's the other thing too, Count. That socially the words are spoken so everybody knows, but in reality, we're still stuck with a whole lot of things that people do regardless of what they say online.
Oh, I know.
So. Yeah.
I have no problem. I like growing up. Out of my top 10 favorite characters, Black Panther, Falcon, Luke Cage. I read all their shit. I didn't care what their skin color was. You know what I mean? It's the character, the stories that matter. And
yeah, do they make a cool character? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
I
it.
could care less about their skin color. You know what I mean? It just doesn't matter to me. And
yeah,
I wish more people nowadays just quit being obsessed with the color of people's skin.
Yeah.
They think they're doing it for an honorable reason. And it's not. It's not helping anybody.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And that's the message from the B3 GamingCast.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I'll stand behind that.
Don't be racist and watch Iron Fist.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, you can be racial, but don't be racist.
Yeah, but,
I like Count knows. Yeah, I think Phil knows too. The what was his name? Oh man, what I forgot his name. A comedian guy died. Was on Opie and Anthony.
Oh, Patrice O'Neal.
Patrice O'Neal. I liked what he said about that. He was like, I'm not racist, but I'm racial. And I think that's something to do with the time period that I grew up, where I had all of the past that was fucking racist as shit. You know, and I had all these people teaching me, and I would look at that and I'd be like, yeah, that's weird. Why do I need to even think badly about somebody just because they're one type of thing? I don't know. You know, my youngest friend was a black kid, you know, but my stepdad was like, he was Mexican. I'm not, but he was Mexican. And for some reason, some Mexican people just don't like black people. I don't know why. It's some kind of thing, but it could just be any. And so they didn't like me being friends with him, you know, and this was probably like in the third or fourth grade. That is.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah,
he was my best friend. Yeah. Remember his name was Darren, you know? So, but then we moved, you know, I didn't care. Like I was a kid. As kids, you don't know why, you know, it's taught. Yeah. But, yeah, we don't need to do it as adults. That's for damn sure. And doesn't need to enter in and ruin somebody's career just because they want to try to fix something that was never the case. If anything, hate on the performance.
But I've been
if that's bad, and apparently it was good.
I've been posting on forums and stuff like that, and I'm getting called out as being a racist, and I'm, you know, it's like, no, you're the racist for being hung up on the skin color. Yeah, you're the one hung up on race, not me.
Well, in the case of Finn, they're trying to make a change for what they think is the better. When, you know, well, look at Meiji Kusanagi with Ghost in the Shell. You know, the lead actor there. Everybody wants to go like, nah, it's fine. Nah, it's fine. It's okay that Scarlett Johansson's white, whatever. Because then they come up with a list of reasons to justify why she is. She should technically be like half Asian, you know, the main character. But nobody wants it. They're just like, nah, it's okay. You know, so people pick and choose whatever they want. That's all it comes down to, you know. So I just find it best not to even engage in those arguments.
In Iron Fist in the comic books, Colleen Wing is actually a white girl. Mm-hmm. She's not Asian. Yeah. But they made her Asian. But it works. It's perfect. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't care. I don't care as long as it works, you know. That's
why I said hate on the performance if that's the issue.
Exactly.
You know, but person doing it,
don't hate on the source material because you wish it would fit into your narrative of supposedly you doing some sort of social justice work for
or society. If it doesn't make sense,
you know. Yeah,
like Phil was talking about that Trevor Noah thing, so I went and watched that Trevor Noah 2017 stand-up, and they're talking about, like, you know, I was thinking, what did he say? He said something like, I was thinking about, well, what if they did make Idris Elba, you know, Bond? Oh, yeah. And then he's like, he's in Scotland, he's in all these European countries where there's not
all
Scotland.
The villains are from those European countries. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no black people in Scotland. So what if they're doing a chase scene? Dun 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 dun. He's riding a motorcycle, running away from the guy, you know, driving away. And he goes through all these things, hides, and puts on like a fake beard and all that. And he's walking behind some monks, and the guys come around the corner. They're like all out of breath and like, there he is. So maybe it didn't make sense to make him, you know.
I think he'd be a great Bond though, just because I like his style.
He's slick as fuck. There's he's got that like grit behind him too. Watch Luther. He's got that mean, you know. He's got the full range there, you know. But how about this? How about they don't pull a Marvel? How about they don't pull a Marvel and just make another fucking spy movie, you know, with a new character? No, you can't do that.
Because they're creatively bankrupt. That's one of the problems. These
well,
people.
it's also a safe bet to go under a name,
Right,
you know? Like
right.
Prey, that new Prey game, nothing like Prey. Nothing like Prey. All the fans that liked Prey, nothing like it. I watched 35 minutes of, and it was boring as fuck, by the way.
I saw that. It looks too slick and polished, too.
Well, it looks nice. If anything, it's more
Yeah.
like Half-Life. Like that first scene with the whole, okay, Morgan, not Gordon. I was like, gee, we're going to have you do some tests now. And I was like, this is Half-Life, like when it started, you know? And I was like, okay. What is up with those stupid aliens? They're like shapeshifters, but they get hit with the wrench and they explode. They're shapeshifters! Why don't they just shape right back up together again?
I don't know.
The second I thought you were going to say Morgan captured, man.
So dumb. So dumb. All right, I think we're done, right? Unless you got more.
Phil may have something. I don't.
No,
I've said my piece about Iron Fist.
Iron Fist was my
Nice.
last bit. I'm just hoping that the episodes going up to the 13 actually build up to something pretty cool.
Right.
But I'm still watching. I mean, I got to 8 episodes, so that means that there's something there that has me watching. So we'll see.
I'm just enjoying. I'm enjoying the Finn Jones. It's a pleasant surprise for me, because when I first saw him being cast, I was like, that's not the guy I pictured for Danny Rand. But I think he just fits it like a glove.
No,
really
Count,
do.
you need to cry about like what was in your head didn't show up on screen.
Yeah,
That's
I need
expectations.
to project my inner my narrative to what
There
I
you
can
go.
and complain about it.
Now you're up to speed.
I don't
with
do that. I
2017.
don't do that. I want them to stick to the source material. I really do. You know,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be on the screen if they didn't have that source material. So,
All right. 2 hours and
and
15
I am going
minutes.
to do I am going to do my next, after I'm done with this Avengers thing on the when comics didn't suck. I'm going to do an issue. I'm going to do an issue of Power Man Iron Fist that I really loved.
Sweet.
When I was a kid. So
There we go.
can't wait for that.
Awesome.
Even
Phil?
though it's not well done, but go ahead.
Yeah, I can't wait for it, even though it sucks. But
Even though it sucks.
the important thing is everybody go watch it.
But shit's gonna
I have
suck.
fun doing it. So yeah, there you go.
I was going to say, thanks for hosting today, Phil, and we'll see what the future holds. Did I mention anything about Gamertron? I can't remember. But if I didn't before, he's no longer on the B3 Gaming Cast, but he is still making content on his channel, and I think he's close to 36,000 and everything like that. So, he's got a lot of things going on. So to kind of alleviate some of that issue, he's no longer needing to worry about this podcast, and hopefully that works out for him. But so we'll see. Appreciate you showing up, Phil, and bringing some fire. Like it.
Oh yeah.
And we will see what happens next time.
I'll bring water next time.
Put out the fire.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of here.
Bring the fire. Bring the water.
Later, guys.